Oh, alright. How is this? Oh, shit. Full screened again. Better be on. You know what? Give me a second. Gotta make sure. Okay, and then as soon as I put this on, full screen the game. That's fine. I always thought, what is the point of playing a game in theater mode in VR? And then I'm like, well, I want to play this game. Oh. I want to play this game instead of streaming, to be honest. Whoa, wait a second. Oh, hold on. I should be playing a game. Guys, I want to play a game. I want to play a game instead of streaming. Wow, this is so not as good as just playing it on an actual screen. You guys. I've never done this before. I've never played a game in theater mode. Let's see, though. I got most of the keys. I was about to give up, but finally yesterday got this. Oh, I pointed. I pointed like I'm pointing in real life or in VR. And it's like, oh, what am I pointing at? You can't see anything. But, well, speaking of not being able to see anything, I can't see the chat. I'll have to turn that on later. I wanted to play a bit of this, because I wanted to play. Because I got basically the wall running thing. Was it this? Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Hold on. What? No. What? What the fuck? I think the controls are going goofy because of the V. Oh, yeah. It's using the headset to control, though. Oh, that's pretty goofy. That's also very disorienting. Yeah. No. Stop. Can I? You know what? Can I fucking... Let's see if I get the actual controllers. Is this back to normal? Oh, yeah, okay. I think this is okay. Guys, it's okay. Whoa. Oh wait, I wanted to be in the underbelly. What am I doing? Yeah, no. Oh, she died. She died. No. Okay. Yeah, one of the last keys I got. Let's see. Here are these two keys. Major keys. Tower remains. And empty Bailey, so there's one in the underbelly. I think the hint it gave was that it was like, it's in a room full of holes, and it's like, that better just be the big room, the big giant room. Cool soundtrack, guys. I just want to play this for a little bit to sort of warm up because, whoa. Okay. Yeah. This game is fun. This is a nice, it's like an N64 Metroidvania. But it's on Steam. In fact, this game is incredibly cheap. I mean, inexpensive. It's only like $6. And it wasn't even on sale. I was like, $6, not even on sale. I'll just buy him. Oh, wait, hold on. This guy. No, you don't. Okay. Whoa. Holy shit. No. Whoa. Don't be fooled. Fuck. God, all kinds of... Riona. I knew that this game had Riona. You know, I can throw my sword manually. I don't know what the purpose of that is. I don't think there's any real purpose to it, aside from, like, lol, I can throw my sword. Here, this place. This is a place. So, I have to just look for a place where I can wall run in this. Not even sure there is one. Pretty sure I've been in... Oh, wait, no. That's it, right? No, that's a switch. Nope. That's a switch. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to find one key before it's like, God, I guess we'll go and do that. Yeah, there's the switch. It's just the switch that extends this, which I hit. Anyways, yeah, I don't want to do any streams. I've been busy. Sort of like, love Liza. Do you smell gas? No. I've been crying, though. Yeah, but it really smells like gas. But yeah, I was doing constructive things for the channel. Just the channel in general. There's... Oh, shit. I'm okay. I'm totally okay. In fact, here, wait. Save gem. There, now it's like it never happened. Oh, I'm looking down at the soundboard. Oh yeah, it's not there. In fact, I had to close it because the controller wasn't working when I had the soundboard thing open. It's like, okay, I guess I can't use the soundboard. Again, I wanted to test this. I wanted to see, like, what's it like to play a game in finger mood? And it's like, well, this is what it's like. It's just like playing a game on a regular TV, but I'm wearing a giant light-up brick on my face to do it. How does this help? How does this fucking further the human experience? Does it? I don't think so, pal. I've been really liking this game, though. The thing about Metroidvanias, though, is that there's always the one part. There's the part where you're just going to get stuck for a long time unless you either... Because there's no map in this. It's like either wander the right way on accident or just go look up a guide. And I wanted to record game footage. It's like, I could throw it over one of our subscriber videos. Delightful. I have no idea where a key could be here. I think I am going to have to look up a guide. I've gotten this far without looking up a guide, and I'm so close to finishing the game that I just need to go find the last 3 keys that open up the last... Here's one thing I can do, by the way. This is not going to help me, but... Oh boy, is it doing it again? And then just drop. Wait, I can... No. Is it doing it the... Is it going to do the thing with the... Yep. Oh, that's bizarre. Hold on a second. Wait. Oh, that's... I think that's why. Wait, no, it's not. Yeah, it's using this. It's using the headset to, like, activate a thing. Okay, now it's off again. So yeah, clearly this is just a goof for warming up. The first 40 minutes is just to get me loose. I want to I want to find another save. I would think this would be the place with the key. Shit, yeah, I mean, I can spend hours wandering, but I've done that so much. When I was recording, all I was doing... Wait, what's that? Holy... Oh, yeah, wait, now I've been there. Yeah, it's just it's a place I can go. But it's a place I can go to leave. The T is for time to leave. That's why she's carrying this giant T on her. This is cool. It's kind of like a big tonfa sword kind of thing. Pretty sweet. I mean, among other things. Where's that? Attire? Well, why don't we? Cling sleeve? What? Am I wearing that? I think I'm wearing it. Whoa, oh, what? Hold on. No. That never happened. Whoa. She has a very sensible vest, though. Anyways. I like the greaves. That's cool. And then also, that's a nice... She's got a nice suit. Finally, she's wearing clothes. Finally. In fact, there's, here, game, options. Down at the bottom, accessibility, give Sybil pants. Oh, why don't I? What's the difference? What is the difference? I'm really... Here, wait, attire. I think if we hit attire... See, I don't see a difference. And then I go into... Pants. That's an accessibility option. Show yet. Yeah, I mean, I don't see them even gone. What is the difference? Guys. Just leaving it like that. You know what, though? Hold on. Okay. This is clearly the actual gear I'm wearing. So she's... People said she's a bunny goat. I think she might be just a goat. It's fine with me. You know, I don't like to. You know me, I don't like to judge. The game itself, fun. In a way, the weakness of every Metroidvania is getting to the part where you have no idea where to go. They've given you the tools, guys. They've given you all the tools. Actually, hold on a second. Oops. Oh, you know what? Okay, I know what the problem is. I'm hitting right trigger, and it's using right trigger to It's using right trigger to start interacting with the thing, but right trigger's also for the gameplay. Wait, I can move this up and down. Wow! Okay, you know what? Here, just stop moving the thing with the thing. Yeah. See, that's bizarre. I mean, is there some setting or something? I don't know. But here. Yeah, but okay, no, that especially doesn't help. How did I turn it off then? That's a real question. Not that, and not that. And not that. And not that. Ugh. You know what I should really do? I already saved a few minutes ago, so... I just wanted to walk up this wall. Here, if I do this... Look, here's the overlay thing, and still doing it. Okay. Toggle theater screen. Oh, there we go. Gee. Thanks, game. I'm blaming the game for that. Yeah, and then as soon as I try to wall run, which is right trigger, it's going to act like it's a mouse click. Maybe there's something over there. Wait a second. Now, wait a second. But I would have to hit the trigger. So, you know what? Alright. Fun game. Good show, everyone. Now, let's get to the actual thing. Although I'm going to have to turn on VR chat. Which means I'm going to have to set up the screen blocker for a second. So, whoa. Oh, sweet. Widescreen. Wow, this game is so much more cinematic now. Now it's a better game. Oh, no, it sucks now. Oh, wait, no, it's good again. Oh, wait, no, it's not good anymore. Okay, here. Controllers. Let me just put these over aside. I'm going to unplug this controller. You know what I should do? Well, alright, yeah, just give me a few minutes. I'm going to actually start the actual stuff. Alright. Here, wait. You can hear me. You can hear me. I just need... You know what, also? Wait. OVR. Let's see if I can get that on right now. Toolkit. It makes happy noises. There's just a bunch of shit that's been happening. And lots of cope streams, a lot of damage control, people making excuses, people covering up for their past, that kind of stuff. Ethan and yellowflash and all the people who want to pick sides are pushing their narratives. And pretty much nobody's actually talking about the truth of what's been happening for the past several years. It's all pretty simple stuff, but it's it's stuff that people don't want to admit to because they want to tell their story. They don't want to tell the truth. There's a difference between... I don't know. Is there a fucking patch for VR chat? Fuck you, VR chat. Oh, I can read the chat now, though. Regular chat. Hello, what is up, guys? Hello. Yay. Okay, it's patching VR chat. What is this, a giant patch? What the hell is this? What's going on? Why is it going on? Why don't you got a tattoo? Okay, play. Okay. Oh yeah, and I gotta change the actual tab. I have to also find a nice place to hang out. Let's see. This is, yeah, default avatar. I'm going to have to stand up for this. I don't want to do that crap. I don't want to do the standing up crap. Burger Cat. Okay, yeah, I'm in VR chat and I'm thinking, what is a good, just a good place? Something that will not run too much. Oh, you know what? Okay. Why don't, oh, fuck. There's going to be people here. I don't want that. No, I was going to pick one of those isolated instances. Oh, neat. I joined a oh, wait. World. Yeah, what is the world I'm in now? Launchpad. McQuack? No. Nope. What am I doing? And why? Oh yeah, wait. This one, new instance, invite plus. Join. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Let us see. Oh. What? What? Oh yeah, this would be good, actually. I could theoretically change the thing, because I'm not going to want to be standing up the whole time doing this. I just want to sit down and be comfy. In a way, it's like, I'm just so already tired. There we go. I'm just so tired of the whole comicsgate. I'm so tired of all these Star Wars. The let's see, I can set up. I think I'll show that at least. Yeah, the screen is on. So what is a good angle? Here's me. Here's me. I'm just gonna stick with this avatar, I guess. What? Oh yeah, camera, stream camera. Look at this. I know it's going to be partially blocked by the thing. If I put it off to the side here, it's more visible. Flying. Wait, here. Flying. Come on, get. Go on, get. There we go. There. Wait, something? No. I want this. Yeah. There we go. And then, oh look. Hello. Hello. There's changing the avatar. There we go. Wow. Wow, hello. This is actually one of the custom, I did make a custom avatar. In fact, I've used this on a bunch of previous videos. In fact, been using this. What? Something about the way the hair is shining, the light's shining on the hair. It's fucked up. I'd rather have a different thing. Here, this is, my hand's resting on my knees here, and it just looks like, hell, I'm trying to hug everyone. Let's see, this should look fine on the, put my hands aside. Oh no, Yep. Yeah, looks fine. Okay. Once again, as usual, all the stuff I'm going to say in this stream has been backed up, verified, and proven by multiple independent sources that have, like, all the receipts, as they call them, or as I like to say, evidence has been out there for years, completely unrefuted. Nobody ever responds to it because they basically know they can't. I've been blocked by most of the people I'm going to be talking about have blocked me a long time ago, many years ago, for just basically them being unable to refute anything I have said. So, let's see. Oh yeah, desktop view. Oh, there. Oh, that looks fine. So, starting with the first thing on screen, I just have a bunch of stuff open, so there's going to be, not in any particular order, for anyone who hasn't kept up, which can't blame you. Yellowflash, who was, just a major simp for comicsgate, who has been, running lots of gay ops, running interference, doing, false flagging, false narratives, slander campaigns, and so on about, a lot of people who were in comicsgate or just people who told the truth in general. He blocked Ethan Van Sciver. He basically threw a giant hissy fit, blocked Ethan Van Sciver, and he had run the comicsgate community on Twitter or X or Twixter, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And he deleted it. The funny thing is, I was basically the first person to be blocked from the comicsgate community, which I didn't even know existed, but somebody told me that they were bragging about how they had me blocked from the comicsgate community on Twitter for years. I had no idea. I only found out about this like last year because I didn't care, but I think it's funny that they were afraid that I would ever say anything in the comicsgate community. Even though, as we have proven and shown, we basically created comicsgate. We have the receipts going into that. That's on our subscribe star. There's a lot of the evidence, deep dives, and so on our subscribe star. And as always, I hate having to point this out every single time, but sadly I have to, is that me and my brother have never, ever wanted to put anything behind a paywall. And we were forced by people like yellowflash and his friends, from them false flagging our accounts, so on, and ultimately getting our previous YouTube channel banned because our YouTube channel was simply going into the evidence of things that the people in comicsgate didn't want anyone looking into or knowing about. It is very sad, but it's not our fault. And it's not our fault that the people who support them, comicsgate or whoever, whatever side you're on in this, you have supported the dishonest people. And pretty much every single person involved is an quantifiable NPC. They're not actually people. They're not humans. They shouldn't be treated as such. But that's a whole other topic. We just, have about 40 tabs open of just things to look at that are covering a lot of the melting down, a lot of the responses. It just started with, this is not where it started. The first tab is just this one where Doug TenNaples responding to, I heard Ethan Van Sciver say, I took comicsgate money. This goes back, this tweet is from yesterday. In fact, just a few hours ago, I guess. Well, earlier. Because it's the 12th now. And it says January 11th here. 2024. If you're watching this 100 years from now, this is when it was taking place. This is when the big psyop of comicsgate was basically finished imploding. And for anyone who doesn't know, comicsgate was always a gigantic psyop, basically from the very beginning. The people who were supporting it were fake. They have fake principles. Nothing they believe in is real. And again, as I said at the beginning, everything I am going to say in this stream is proven with dozens of pieces of irrefutable evidence, independent, verifiable sources. I don't mean like blue check mark verified. I mean, people who have been in the movement, people who actually have, screenshots, archive links, video clips proving all of this stuff. Doug TenNaples has been on stream with us many times talking about this kind of stuff. So have many other people who have been kicked out of Comicsgate, who have been rejected, who have willingly left Comicsgate, and so on. The only people really to really do that level of deep dive. And most of it was on our previous channel, which, again, was false flagged by people in Comicsgate. And both yellowflash and Ethan Van Sciver are directly complicit in doing that. And in a way, if you supported either of them or Comicsgate as a movement, you're also directly complicit. Not because you didn't know, but because you did know and you chose not to admit it. And again, I'm not speculating when I say that. There's thousands of pieces of evidence that prove that for the creators and the actual customers. There are many, many customers who have blocked me for posting proof. Like they'll say, well, I'll say something that's true. And they'll say, where's your proof of that? And then I post the proof, and then they block me. That's actually how yellowflash blocked me many years ago. It's how Ethan Van Sciver blocked me. It's how all of the people in comicsgate who have me blocked, which is pretty much all of them, blocked me. Most of the people in comicsgate who are still in comicsgate, like these sub NPCs, that's basically all that's left in comicsgate at this point, is the people who are beneath the level of NPC. So there's like being immune to propaganda, which is us. And then there are the people who are not immune to propaganda, the normie pig cattle, if you will. And then there are the people who are especially susceptible to propaganda. And then underneath that is the people who are in comicsgate, especially the people who are still in comicsgate. And most of those people in comicsgate who don't have me blocked it's mainly because they are completely unaware of what had happened. They basically missed out on a lot of the early stuff of comicsgate just being blown out in every single argument, losing every argument against us. That's, again, when people block me, it's because they lost the argument with me and they know that they have, and they have to run away. That was yellowflash, Ethan Van Sciver, and so on. Doug TenNapel agrees with me about this. So it's not my opinion. Like I've said, there are multiple there are even people who don't like me who are basically forced to agree with that. And again, the receipts, the evidence, all of that has been out there for years. We've been showing it. It's not on us to show it anymore. We already did that part. It's on you to actually look at the evidence now. So again, if you do want to know more about it, I would say just, subscribe and look through our videos, but we can't even post the videos in public because of what I just explained. So, that thing every single time. I don't like having to put videos behind the paywall, the pig paywall, but we're essentially forced to because of all of the people in comicsgate. And I mean, by the way, all of the adjacents, all of the side supporters, the tangential supporters, all of them knew. Every single one of them. Even Eric July knew, by the way. Eric July was presented with evidence that Ethan Van Sciver had doxed his own customers. That was actually just video evidence of Ethan Van Sciver actually doing it. And there were many other examples of Ethan doing that over the years, but and attempting to do it other times over the years. And Eric July's response was to work with Ethan Van Sciver. Again, this was last year. So when it comes to pretending that even the other people are like, people against Ethan have principles, they don't. This is why I'm saying this is the actual truth about what's going on. Most of you are not going to want to hear this. Most of you do not want to know this. But it is the truth regardless of what you want to know. That's the problem with the truth, is it's the truth whether you want to know it or not. So anyways, going back to the beginning, one of the main things, one of the main implosions that first revealed that comicsgate was fake was essentially, I mean, the main ones. There were earlier signs than this, but around 2019, in fact, really early 2019, it was kind of late 2018, early 2019, Nurkish was basically targeted by comicsgate. Nurkish was a guy who generally supported comicsgate, and comicsgate decided to make him an enemy so that the other people in comicsgate would sort of shoring up the base. It's something that we've explained in other videos. Again, if you want to know more about that, the only people who have ever talked about that is us. And donate to the Subscribe Star if you want to become PayPig. I'm going to have to tell you to become PayPig about 5,000 times if you really want to know more, because that's where all of the information is at this point. Having to back it up on multiple channels because we still get false flagged by people in comicsgate, including now the people who are supposedly leaving comicsgate. And again, none of this, not a single word that I have been saying or will say in this entire video is speculation. All of it is backed up with thousands and thousands of data points and pieces of evidence and so on. But the beginning was Nurkish basically being attacked by comicsgate over comicsgate revealing their actual SJW behavior, revealing that comicsgate was a psyop. Comicsgate was fake all along. And Doug TenNapel called it out. In fact, there's a screenshot somewhere in here that we'll get to eventually of him mentioning that. And so they went after Nurkish, who was just a guy who did some reviews on YouTube making fun of SJW Comics. So Comicsgate basically claimed he was Comicsgate. They said, Nurkish, you're Comicsgate. And he's like, okay, I guess, whatever. In fact, there's DMs that leaked of them saying, Nurkish, you better say your comics. We'll get to that. But we've also done many videos digging into that on our Subscribestar at this point. That goes back like a year or two, I think. I think it's a couple years at this point. But also we had done videos about it in 2019 and so on. In fact, it's how we got people who were in Comicsgate to instead basically leave the movement and subscribe to us. And Doug TenNapel is an example of that. I'd like to do a stream with him. Doug TenNapel's invited me to a few streams, but it was when I was asleep. And by recently, I mean within the past couple of weeks. I'd like to go on again. I'd like to stream with Tim and Mark again, in fact, but they're busy. And I've been working on a bunch of other stuff myself. Stuff with the videos in the channel, actually. But also with comics. That kind of thing. That's another thing, is that we could get into that for a long time, but we have a very long history of actually making comics, longer than pretty much everyone in Comicsgate. That's one thing that is about the psyop of Comicsgate, is that it's a bunch of people who have never made comics and are not good at making anything. They're objectively bad at making things. And the proof is, the comics that they release. And but on top of that, you can strip that out entirely, and you're still left with people who are innately dishonest, disingenuous, and obsessed with YouTube clicks, to the point where they will, like yellowflash was involved with, making up lies and faking death threats against himself, faking death threats against family members for clout that were entirely imaginary, and the evidence completely destroyed. But that's a whole other topic. Many other videos about that. DA Talks has done some good deep dives into that, where he went into the Kiwi Farms evidence. Those videos are old, in fact. Those could stand to be redone by him, perhaps. But and again, if it's like, well, DA Talks, it's like, if you are going to dismiss evidence because you don't like the person saying it, you are an NPC. You don't have a soul. You're not a person. You don't actually have any beliefs in any way. Folks, it pains me to say it, hurts me to say it, but it is irrefutable, and you can't spell irrefutable without Fuda. So, anyways, after the Nurkish stuff happened, and they went after Nurkish, Nurkish basically walked away from the entire thing. The original cash grab comic, Nurkish was working on with Tim Lim. And after Nurkish walked away, Tim Lim was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to make my own stuff too then. And so Tim Lim became an enemy of Comicsgate entirely for that reason, because Comicsgate couldn't help but to attack people in its own movement, because Ethan, for many years, has been obsessed with that. There's a long history of Ethan Van Sciver's personal family friends admitting that he is so mentally ill that he is almost not even functional. But here's the thing about YouTube, is that you can be completely non-functional in a lot of ways. You can be a non-functional alcoholic, drug addict, mentally ill, and still have a successful YouTube channel. In fact, many people have had successful YouTube channels while being completely non-functional, because it's the easiest thing. You just pick a topic that is high in their websites that will say, here's the top search results for YouTube, that kind of stuff. And just do a video about it. Even if you don't know anything about it, even if you're completely wrong about it, you will get popular and you will make a lot of money. You just have to have no qualms about lying to your audience, which is another thing, is that a lot of people got kicked out of comicsgate for being like, why did you say this when you had the, like, Ethan Van Sciver liking The Last Jedi until the next day he realized everyone hated it. Then he started pretending that he hated the movie. Yeah, boy, Zach did the same thing. There's the video of his positive review of The Last Jedi is still out there. And that goes to show, look at all the stuff that comicsgate covers up. They say something, they do something, and then suddenly it's deleted. Most of their tweets from a few years ago are gone because it's embarrassing to them. And that is what they rely on. That's what every person every person even remotely related to comicsgate relies on, you not wanting to look into the information. And again, I don't want to have to be the one to do this because, this is all stuff that anyone should be able to just look at. I understand, that a lot of people don't keep up with this, though. I wish that somebody else would do videos actually digging into this stuff, though, and it never happened. So it's like, it's down to me. That's not good. That's pretty bad. So anyways, yeah, like I was saying about the Nurkish thing, Nurkish basically got attacked by comicsgate again, comicsgate was like, there's all these Nazis in your Discord, Nurkish. If you're not officially part of comicsgate, we won't protect you. There are DMs proving people in comicsgate said that to Nurkish. So Nurkish walked away. He canceled Cash Grab. He basically handed Cash Grab off to Cecil, who was not equipped and still isn't equipped to make it. He's a terrible writer. He's one of the most unfunny and boring people in the history of YouTube. Basically proven by the fact that he has to be held up by all these other YouTubers who are also boring and unfunny. It goes to, like, if you don't understand the actual NPC information, the meme of it, like the whole thing was that 70% of people are just NPCs. Do you understand how many people is 70? Do you know that 70% of the human race is more than enough to make a YouTuber popular? You don't know that if you think that, these popular YouTubers, they wouldn't just be, popular because of the dumbest people, on the planet. It's really bizarre is that nobody else understands that, except for us. I mean, good thing you have us. That's kind of what you need. Again, that's why, for some reason, all this is down to us to cover. But yeah, after the Nurkish stuff, Doug TenNapel basically pointed out, he was like, hey, this isn't good. This is the exact SJW behavior we're supposed to be against, isn't it? And so Doug TenNapel got booted out of comicsgate too. They turned on him. And then the thing that comicsgate always does about that is they will essentially backstab Doug TenNapel and then say that Doug TenNapel backstabbed them. That'll be their story. And then they will refuse to believe any responses or any truth. Like if Doug TenNapel says, well, here's what really happened, comicsgate will say no, but then they will refuse to prove their side. They will simply tell their story without any evidence. And then when the other side has evidence, what they do is start blocking everyone who posts the evidence, like Ethan Van Sciver, blocking many, many people who posted evidence, including me, of course. But that goes back many years. So when this really started was around 2019, early 2019. And here is Doug from yesterday basically responding, again, telling the story, the same story that everyone didn't want to believe. Everyone wanted to call a lie, but they had no evidence that was a lie. And in fact, all of the evidence proved it was true. So Doug TenNapel saying, I heard Ethan Van Sciver say, I took comicsgate money, but in reality, I took less for myself than any other creator, gave more of it back to comic book fans than anyone else in that fraud movement. That's measurable. It's quantifiable. If you look at the information for the Earthworm Jim comics, how much it costs to print that stuff, that kind of thing, and the fulfillment and so on. Doug says, I wish I could have taken even more of CG's money to give them ever more high page count, better story art, printing, promptness, extras. The comicsgate audience is so stupid that and this sounds like just like throwing insults, but it's not. It's actually measurably true that comicsgate's audience is legitimately stupid. A lot of them have like a sub 100 IQs. To be honest, I consider you, if you have an IQ of 100, I don't even really consider you to be a person. I consider you to be a subhuman, an underneath person, if you will. You have to at least have an IQ of 110 to be a person to me. And even then is pretty low. And I don't mean just based on like some internet web site test. Click on this to see how your IQ. No, you have to actually have a doctor test it for some reason. Why do you have to have doctors trust the science? Trust the IQ test science. But anyways, the comicsgate audience is so stupid, and I had to take their abuse just to give them more, but that's how much I love making quality books. Or he did. He hasn't done a book in a while. Or he did Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. He actually gave me one thing always very much appreciate Doug Tenaple for, is he gave me one of the original art pages so that I could sell it on eBay, so that I could use the money to help fund my own comic, which I did. And again, Doug Tenaple has a positive blurb about the comic. If you want to see more about that, the comics, those stuffs, you could, by the way, you can go to Iconic Comics. One of the comics me and my brother had published is there. And again, that's very much thanks to Tim Lim and Mark Pellegrini. But just check the links below, by the way, for Iconic Comics and especially for King Wolf Comics if you want to see some of the stuff that Doug Tenaple has said he liked. But yeah, Earthworm Jim 1 and 2. Here's the guy he's quote tweeting, says, bought Earthworm Jim 1 and 2 and loved them. Bought a book from EVS and he never even made it. That's all I care about in the end. That is actually a good standard. That's the standard you should have as far as actually supporting real comics. Again, that's a whole other topic. When it comes to supporting actual merit, nobody understands what merit is anymore. Unironically, I can actually prove this with an Etch-a-Sketch. I can prove that pretty much we are the royal we. I mean, me, my brother, the people who are appreciators, the average shitty webcomics enjoyer, the average Iconic Comics enjoyer, the average King Wolf Comics enjoyer, actually does know what merit is, and nobody else. Not a single other person on the planet. Here's a nice pertinent reply. Here's a good reply. Yeah, I replied to Doug saying, EVS did also say this, after all, anyone who didn't catch on after this has no real beliefs, which is also undeniably true. Here's Ethan, the human sunbeam, sunlight and warmth with a P, personified, saying, Comicsgate is only controversial to the SJWs, and then is Earthworm Jim anti-gay? CG isn't. Here's the archive link to prove that it's really true. That it's funny thing is that Comicsgate knows that all of these things that their movement has said and is responsible for is real. But they're not even smart enough to try to deny it either, to say like, oh, that could be a doctored screenshot. The archive link, anyways, proves that it isn't and can't be. Yeah, here's another person. Here's, you know what, this is cool. Wait, where's this picture? Yeah. One of the custom mailers that Doug Tenaple shipped his books in. And this is where Tim and Mark and Iconic got their idea from Doug Tenaple made these boxes that had like, color custom art. One thing about Doug is that he did that Bigfoot Bill comic. Did he do 2 or was it just 1? I think he did 2. But so again, he like completely outproduced almost the entire movement single-handedly. There's another reason why Doug Tenaple had to go. The T is for time to go, Doug Tenaple. But the he hasn't made a comic in a couple of years, basically because YouTube became too lucrative from sort of the grift, and it's something that even Doug TenNapel says, like, well, I get so much money more now from doing this stuff. Here's somebody else saying, I'm so lost to all the trauma. Lol. How do you handle this? And Doug says, just laugh at it. I've seen online fandoms fight each other now for years. It's everywhere. It appears to be what we do online. Perhaps even in the shadows. Here, also, again, just random order, just addressing a bunch of the stuff. We'll be getting into the deeper stuff later. Most of these are just responses to responses. Vicky saying, as yellowflash prances around pretending he's morally superior, just remember that this is the guy who let Anna, that Star Wars girl, get grabbed by her crotch by a total stranger and did nothing. Yeah, there's video clips of them basically coming out and saying that. Here's somebody else replying to Ethan, saying he's saying about yellowflash is going full retardant on you today. These aren't even the most recent, and it's just screen caps of yellowflash having a meltdown. I personally have witnessed that because yellowflash would have meltdowns at me after having me blocked. One of the first people to even have me blocked in all of comicsgate on my Twitter account period was there's a few SJW people and then comicsgate. What a weird coincidence, by the way. I mean, like, as we've talked about before, I talked about this on Nick Ricada's channel, is that my previous social media stuff had been constantly false flagged and eventually banned and shut down by the SJWs, the woke mob, the cancel pigs. And it's interesting to point out they did that, and then so has comicsgate. So there is no difference. If you think there's a difference between anyone in comicsgate or anyone related to comicsgate and the woke mob cancel pig SJWs, you are objectively quantified. You are already proven to be wrong, and you don't have any real opinions or beliefs, and you're not really even a person. You don't even rise to the level of midwit. You are beneath the level of being especially susceptible to propaganda. I bet EVS has a rape tunnel. That, entirely possible. I mean, there is a very weird, suspicious history of Ethan with some of his friends who were part of comicsgate. If you want to look into the Slick Jimmy stuff, that's on our channel as well. Suicide AI doesn't mention which book. Wait, which book? Which book? Oh, if you mean the one he didn't receive because he didn't want trauma. There's many. Cecil McFly, that's what Sven used. Sven does put out his comics through Iconic. Which, and I bought it. I backed that one because I don't get every Iconic Comics comic, but it would be a pretty reliable thing. I don't think we reviewed Butch Kill Again, but we could. I did like it. There are a few things I could have to say about it, but in general, I liked it. I definitely like the art style. In fact, it's funny how that comic just goes so completely off the rails. I thought it was going to be like edgy cop self-parody thing, and then all of a sudden, it's like, well, this is not that. Weird. But anyways, mention which book. If you mention which book that he didn't receive from Ethan, Cyberfrog 2 has been a complete fucking disaster. And again, most of that is because of the whole Dynamite Comics situation. We've done videos about that a long time ago. If you go to our BitChute channel, Kawhi Thomas on BitChute, that was like the emergency backup that was automatically mirroring from our original YouTube channel. So we have videos going back, 5-6 years on there now. And YouTube or BitChute has basically been eating some of the videos. It's one thing that really sucks about BitChute. So, I can't even recommend the platform, but there are some of our videos, a handful of our videos. It could be half, it could be 70%, I don't even know. But some of those videos still work, and then the remaining just never load. And if you use something like BitChute Fix or something, it just says that the video is a 404. I've tried contacting support at BitChute, and they tell me, it's a lot of work to look into this. So any donation would be appreciated. It's like, okay, are you saying you want me to pay money for you to fix my videos? Fucking say, how much? How much do you want? Fucking $1, $5 per video? What do you want? Just come out and say it. You want me to give you money to fix the videos that should already have been working? Fine. Just tell me that. I still prefer that to Rumble, that just straight up deleted about 1,500 videos I had backed up on a completely unrelated channel on a different account for no reason, with no warning. So that's Rumble. Probably the most anti-free speech platform out there is Rumble, provably, based on actual experience. YouTube will ban videos and stuff for bullshit trumped up charges, but they'll tell you that they're doing it. Rumble won't even tell you that they're doing it. Anyways, here is, in response to this guy, Cisco Beast, saying, replying to Ethan, who, again, has had me blocked since 2018. Just to go to the show, Ethan, complete pussy. Anyone who has me blocked, they have only done it because they're a complete pussy. Nobody has had me blocked because I would keep replying to them or would spam them with anything. Every time I've been blocked, it's been over one single response that posted evidence of something that they could not refute. Every single time. And in fact, if you've been following us, you've seen the evidence of that live and in action. Delightful. But anyways, yeah, two people who have me blocked, Flash and Ethan, which, as Mr. Medicare had said, by his standard, yellowflash and Ethan Van Sciver are bitch made, according to Medicare. Because, he said, if you block somebody and then talk shit about that person from behind the block, you're bitch made. Unless that standard is no longer true, unless he doesn't hold to that standard anymore, he is specifically referring to Ethan Van Sciver and yellowflash, and pretty much 90% of comicsgate. Vicky mentioning, I remember this one, Hot Wife Mandy. This is different now for anyone who's been, subscribing recently. Hot Wife Mandy is Mandy Summers, who is a yet another comicsgate creator, an actual, for real life girl, but she's also just like a complete, not even a mid. She's like a 4 out of 10 at best cam whore, an actual meth whore. She has a record. She was arrested, so on. But now she's in comicsgate, making just dog shit comics. She has had me blocked too before I ever even knew who she was. But yeah, that's right. She was sexting with Kyle Ritter, I think, trying to get nude pictures from him. She was sending him nudes or something. Went crying to Ethan Van Sciver about a certain vape video and sexual harassment, and Ethan told her to handle it like an adult because it wasn't a comicsgate problem. Because it wasn't. Here's, and yeah, she's saying that with this quote, yellow flashing. I remember when someone was having a problem, they went to EVS for help. They were told that's not a comicsgate problem. Handle it yourself. Good guy EVS. Now, this is important to remember is that many people had this exact problem. Nurkish had this problem. Doug Tenaple had this problem. They didn't even go to EVS for help. It's just relied on the people in comicsgate to be honest, to be accountable for their actions, and they're not, as already proven, thousands of times over, in fact, over the years. But more specifically, Nasser Rabadi was another example of yellowflash lied about him, created a hoax, him and that umbrella guy, which is why ultimately yellowflash and that umbrella guy were referred to even by Ethan Van Sciver, first by us, and then Ethan Van Sciver actually started doing it himself, and other people in comicsgate were like, why are you doing that? And he said, he actually admitted to them it was because he got it from us at Shitty Webcomics. But we just started calling them Yellow Umbrella because there's basically no difference between them. Both of them are pathological liars. Both of them have made up fake death threats against themselves and their family members for clout, which worked. If you support them, you support people who fake death threats against themselves for clout. You support child abusers, as in the case of that Umbrella guy. And when that Umbrella guy was caught being just straight up being a child abuser, and I don't mean the CPS stuff. I mean like neglecting your children and creating fake death threats against your children. Just straight up fake death threats based on absolutely nothing. Not even based on something out of context. Just making something up out of thin air that never happened to anyone. When you do that, you are a child abuser. When you target your own children for death threats that have never existed, you are a child abuser. And if you support that, you are a person who has supported child abuse. If you have supported them in any way over the years, you are a person who condones child abuse. You're just that kind of person. Again, you're not really even a real human being. Here also is this moronic opinions guy saying you siding with EVS a little more each day was the world come to. Kind of joking, I think. Even though there have been many, many stupid people who are like, if you criticize Ethan, you're on yellowflash's side. If you're on yellowflash, we've seen that thousands of times before too, over the past years, not just with comicsgate, but just with every disagreement that the normie pig cattle have on the internet. But Vicky says it's not siding with. I give Ethan lots of shit. I give him shit over real events. I'm not going to lie about the man because I don't like him, or because I'm trying to kiss someone's ass, or because I have something to sell. Colonel Mort just says, who is this genius? Vicky says, though, I like him. He did a great review of Eric July's shitty comic. He's also the cat that visited the grave site, which, again, there was a lot of false narratives and hoaxes about that, too, by the way, with not that I'm even a fan of this guy or that he went to the grave site, but people straight up accused him of pissing on the grave, which never happened. They had no evidence about that. Why is this saying offensive material? What is this? Just truth matters. Holy shit. That really was offensive. Again, Twitter is quite the hell site. Here is Nurkish replying to yellowflash, whining about something. I forget which. But of course, I can't see the tweet, so fucking it's yellowflash, I don't know, fucking crashed his car into a school bus, whatever. Hey, he has me blocked. I can't see it. And Nurkish says it's really about the whole Ethan stuff, of course, because yellowflash has been posting like hundreds of times about Ethan over the past day or two. And Nurkish replies, Nurkish, the person who would know the best, really. And in fact, the person that yellowflash joined in on lying about and attacking. And he says, if only there were some signs. I replied saying, to Nurkish saying, all the times yellowflash was cool with Ethan doing that and publicly supported it, but all of a sudden he's going to pretend he has morals. He's the exact same as EVS. No, he won't be. It's sad because stating the obvious so bluntly like this is something that I just never wanted to. Over the past 20 years, I was like, should never have to bluntly speak the truth because people should just know the truth. But the fact is, not that I'm shocked by this, but the fact is that ultimately people don't want to know the truth. If you're a fan of yellowflash, you've never wanted to know the truth. You've actively wanted to believe lies. And there's no exceptions to that in any way. Here also is just some fucking complete nobody replying to Nurkish for some reason saying, you're the retard that spurred out. And that allowed me to make a classic Shitty Webcomics point, as we often do, where I say everything a comicsgate supporter says can be disproven with one of two responses. One is how, and two is prove it. That's an old saying that we've had. Going back years, is every time somebody in comicsgate says anything to us or to whoever, We're like, okay, how? And then prove it. And then usually the response is to get blocked. This guy might have me blocked already. I just haven't refreshed the page. It doesn't matter to me, though. Just like pouring cooking oil down the sink. Not my problem. Here again, fucking one of whoever, probably Ethan. And here's this guy, General Peggy, saying the message reads December 13th, 2021. Oh, wait, no, he's replying to yellowflash. A yellowflash being like, Ethan was, part of war campaign and so on. Here's this guy pointing out, message reads 2021. So you're saying he was on friendly terms with was campaign. It's like derogatory term for war campaign. And the whole war campaign thing, whole other story. We did many videos about that. They were on the old channel, so a lot of them are gone. Most of them were backed up initially on BitChute. BitChute has just been eating tons of our old videos now, though. So, if you want to contact BitChute, I've tried contacting them already. If you want to contact BitChute and ask them to bring back our videos to go, do their fucking job and make our videos work again, try and give their support email an email. But anyways, was campaign after he said this about them a year earlier. yellowflash, I do believe you're a cad. And here's Ethan basically melting down. 2020 was around the time that there was a giant PR disaster where throughout 2018 and 2019, and into 2020, Ethan Van Sciver was basically using war campaign as his personal attack and dox and gay ops wing and so on like that. Gay ops even is a simple way of putting it. Ethan would fake attacks against himself and use war campaign to sort of shore up the hoax. A lot of the stuff about what happened with Nurkish and Doug TenNapel, the truth about it was covered up in part because Ethan would immediately go to, any website that was friendly to comicsgate and tell them his lie about what happened. And then usually it would be like Nurkish wouldn't even want anything. Nurkish would have just walked away by that point and been like, I don't give a shit. Fucking, I don't even want to talk about it because it's all in public. You should be able to see it for yourself. Instead, sites like Bleeding Fool and Bounding Into Comics posted the hoax in spite of the evidence that refuted what they had published. So basically, they're just another wing of the Lugan Press themselves. But yeah, the stuff with war campaign, Ethan was publicly funding them, supporting them, and so on for a long time until what he was paying them to do became a PR disaster for him. So he threw them under the bus naturally, as he did, with all sorts of people. Well, again, Nurkish was another example. Doug TenNapel was another example. Mike S. Miller was another example. And so on and so on. That was one of the reasons why Ethan blocked us, is because he knew he would never be able to get any examples of anything that he could find, except stuff that made him look stupid, which, that happened a lot. Just fucking see how Ethan reacts when you bring up gas chambers to him. But again, all other old classic delightful stuff. Try and use this. You know what? This is actually, my left hand is better for scrolling, I think. That's good. Wow. Here again, replying to, I don't know. I don't even know. But here's this guy pointing out, remember when EVS lies about war campaign? The reality was when they were his honor guard and gay ops facilitator. Again, it's all of this just been public knowledge, public information for many years, and it's stuff that nobody talks about, though. All of the people who were involved, all the people who were there, the people who were supported, like Ricada, for instance, was directly involved. He had war campaign guys who were wrenches in his chat, who were, doing stuff with him behind the scenes to, help slander people who were walking away from the movement or were correct. there's a lot of reasons for all of that too. Again, the geeks and gamers guys, Nerdrotic and so on, up until, it all backfired on them and imploded and they all turned on each other. But all of them were completely complicit, and to this day are not really honest about what was going on, because the whole thing, the entire nerd culture war thing, is one gigantic psyop. And again, I don't think this. It's already was proven. And there's like back then, today, and so on and so forth. There's just mountains of undeniable evidence about it. And so if you don't think it's true, it's because you don't want it to be true. You don't want the truth to be true, essentially. But here, this guy points out those weirdos went after Anna's dead sister, attacked Cecil and Malin. Oh no, attacked Cecil and Malin. The same way Cecil and Malin, slandered other creators in their own movement. So again, it's comicsgate behavior turning against comicsgate behavior. Was this done to keep them in line? Here's a 14-second video. I'll play this.
This war campaign group of fans are likable. I think they're intensely likable. I love these guys. I like to go on their streams. I like their shows. I think they're funny.
He was saying that for a long time after War Campaign was attacking other people in Comicsgate, by the way. I'm sure this clip is from 2018 because it's from Google Hangouts when they used to do all those things, which a lot of those are covered up. And it's funny because those were deleted, but a lot of people mirrored them because Ethan was deleting and covering them up. But yeah, there's just lots of other examples of stuff like this, behind the scenes with Comicsgate. The whole thing was a hoax. They kind of knew it. But admitting it is self-defeating too. So anyone who actually admitted is like, this whole thing is a scam, suddenly you were out of Comicsgate. Or why are we attacking our own side? Suddenly you're out of Comicsgate. Again, it was on the people who were still around to be honest about that. But they knew they would lose audience. They would lose subscribers. So they don't talk about it. And we didn't care because we didn't care about losing subscribers or any of that shit. So we did videos about it, once a day. We did the Cape Cuck Cupcake recap and so on and that kind of stuff. And that got us constantly flagged by people in Comicsgate. Ethan Van Sciver has a direct public paper trail that's archived of him paying people to false flag our accounts. And again, when he was doing that, people like Raging Golden Eagle, that Umbrella guy, yellowflash, and so on and so on and so on, were sticking up for Ethan and specifically also for Liam Gray, who was the guy who was getting bribed to do it. All of them were taking Liam Gray's side in public. And then it blew up massivly and imploded on. It backfired on Ethan, of course, because when you pay somebody, when you get caught, when you allow yourself to just get caught bribing somebody to false flag, the same way that Ethan bribed Comic Book Hut to claim that, ironically, for Comic Book Hut to claim that Iconic Comics was bribing him, when in reality it was Ethan bribing Comic Hut to make the claim. So again, there's just, many situations. Here is something, again, this is something from 2019 on some Facebook group that I didn't even follow. Somebody just screen capped this because they followed this and posted it to our Discord back then. May 16th, I'm pretty sure, 2019. This guy, Matthew Mers, saying, thanks, Third Wave Comicsgate. Just to go to show how old Third Wave Comicsgate is considered 2019. Thanks, Third Wave Comicsgate. Before we did a video about this on the, again, way before. It's on the BitChute, but I don't know if it loads. So again, we did it on the old channel. And, all the people who supported Comicsgate allowed that, the evidence of all that stuff to just be false flagged and banned. That is what Comicsgate actually stands for, is censoring their own side. even today, like the people who are still supporting comicsgate today, whether they know it or not, they are the people who are saying they're against the cancel pigs are in favor of the cancel pigs. They're just not honest enough. They're not really human enough, you could even say. They're not the overman and never will be, which is quite unfortunate. Here is chat. Did you saw Sven troll EVS on Killstream? I kind of figured he would. And in fact, the Killstream announcement tweet that Ethan Ralph made, me and my brother both replied to that with a few things that I'm sure Sven would, maybe he didn't reference those, but if he mentioned the gas chambers, then perhaps he did. Here, my hand being up like this is me looking at the chat. My chat's on the other side. You can't see it. I don't know. Anyways. Unfollow yellowflash on Twitter. I mean, I don't even see a reason to follow him. He was never interesting or honest. It's like, why would you intentionally choose to follow a dishonest person? A person who he didn't just start being dishonest either. In fact, if anything, he's only starting to be honest about stuff that he willingly chose to sit on and not admit to for many, many years. The people who sat around and were complicit in all of this for many years, you should never trust. In fact, you should mock them openly and go ahead and get blocked by them for fun. I mean, I will admit, it is fun. It is fun. I prefer Odyssey. I actually do like Odyssey. I try and mirror all of our stuff on Odyssey too, but there's a few, it seems likely about to crumble to. Yeah, that's possible. I have no idea, so. BitChute was based in UK. They never had a chance. Yeah, there's. You know what's funny is that BitChute links used to be blocked entirely on Twitter. If you DM'd it, if you posted a link to BitChute, Twitter would just straight up block it. And that did change, I'm quite sure, once Elon. I haven't linked to BitChute because, again, why would I? With a site barely functional. But once Elon took over the site, I'm pretty sure they got rid of that. Never liked Umbrella Guy. I don't know, something about him. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, first of all, just listening to him, he has one of those artificial fake. He has the voice of somebody who's covering up, who's trying to hide something. It's the pushed voice. You can hear when it's something like this. It's not. I can't do imitations, so I can't even pretend to be dishonest. I'm genetically incapable of pretending to be dishonest on the same level that it takes to even imitate that voice. But Ethan has the same voice. In fact, if you go back to his old, if you're able to find some of the stuff from the very beginning, like 2017, 2018, and listen to his voice, you'll hear it's completely different. It's not even remotely similar. Dan Fan makes pretty cool. Yeah, we actually reviewed it. We had her on. I think that was that like early last year or something. We did have her on with Tim Lim. I saw pages of ISOM look really trashy. Well, yeah, here's the thing. ISOM is, a whole other topic, really. People are way, way too sensitive about even talking about ISOM. So when it comes to even discussing ISOM, it's like you can't because people will just start crying regardless. It doesn't like it's funny because it's the great irony of the human race, if you will, is the weakest people are the people who are always going to tell you that they're tough. They're always like, yeah, but Snowflake, what do you think? And then all of a sudden they're the actual Snowflake. They start crying and screaming, the wailing and gnashing of teeth. But yeah, that's the thing is that with ISOM, it's also just a psyop ultimately. And the proof is out there that shows it. It's already been proven. And the people who say it's not are just people who deny reality. They don't want to fucking... It was the exact same thing with comicsgate, down to the exact same behavior. They're calling each other the same things that they used to call each other in comicsgate and before that and so on. All of it's already been shown. All of it will continue playing out the exact same way it played out in the same thing. Everything that's happened with the ISOM comic is exactly what happened at the very beginning of comicsgate as well. I said unfollow, not follow. Yeah, no, but I mean, if you've unfollowed somebody, that means you had followed them. I don't know why you would follow anyone that point to even be able to unfollow them. I never unfollowed Yellowflash because I never followed him. I would never follow and never. I did follow your boy Zach in 2017, and I did follow Ethan for a couple of months, and I realized Ethan basically had nothing to say, nothing of value. Anything that came close to being of value is something that he literally just repeated from us from years before. But again, it's a whole other topic. Dan Fan, doesn't get involved in this gay stuff. You know what's funny is that I remember she reviewed one of ya boy Zach's comics, and not even a very positive review. She was clearly trying to be nice to it. But again, the problem with ya boy Zach is he is one of the worst. He's one of the dumbest people in the entire comics psyop sphere. And he doesn't know it's a psyop, of course, because he's stupid. But just proven by, like, if you think Isom is bad, you should see Richard C. Myers comics. Isom is better, easily. Isom is much better. Eric July is a fantastic writer compared to your boy Zach, Richard C. Meyer. But yeah, she reviewed one of his comics, and it just it's sort of a Xenosaga syndrome, where it's like, here's a description of the shittiest thing in the world, 7 out of 10. Sven talked about the newly discovered New York tunnels as soon as he got on. Yeah, that's fucking. They may have found some of Ethan's kids down there, apparently, but running out of the tunnels though. They weren't on the mattresses. I bet they're Freemasons. Oh, that's probably what it is. They're Freemasons. I knew it. I said unfollow him. I don't follow Yellowflash anymore. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I'm saying. Here though. With this, why is this my own window here tilted? Anyways, but yeah, this going back to this, I wasn't looking at this the whole time. Doug TenNapel, war campaign prolongs and escalates another stupid internal CG war. This was around the time of the Nurka stuff, but it was just happening constantly, and Ethan was paying them, promoting war campaign. He was going on war campaign streams and super chatting them. So it's like a public pay record of paying them for their behavior. All the stuff that, war campaign, Ethan was getting them jobs at Dynamite Comics, which is part of what blew up the entire, ironically, blew up the whole Dynamite Comics deal because, Cyberfrog 1 was being printed and shipped. The Dynamite was doing the fulfillment. They were doing the printing and the fulfillment. And that blew up. It became a giant PR nightmare. War Campaign went full war campaign against Dynamite Comics, and Ethan realized what a liability that was. So he, and added to which the other jobs that they were, using the cronyism to get people, people who didn't deserve it, people who didn't earn it. It's basically the story of comicsgate from the beginning, is people who didn't have any merit pretending that they got these, selling people promises and lies, and pretending that the promises and lies that they got all this money for is somehow the merit, when most of them had never made a comic before. Ethan's comics were never good. His art was never really that good either. There are many people who just stopped reading The Flash back in the 2000s because, this art is just dog shit. Like, some of the worst anatomy. But Ethan could ape the house style. He could try to make an imitation of Jim Lee's art, but Jim Lee knew how to draw anatomy, at least. And Ethan really didn't. Ethan knew how to imitate, and that's it. That's kind of, and then having, elaborate, Ethan doesn't do the coloring. He just has somebody else do a lot of the heavy lifting with the coloring. So again, a lot of people think that Ethan's a good artist, but if you really look at it, if you do if you do basic redlining, which, if you're not an artist or not experienced with comic art, you don't even know what that is. Which, ironically, most people in Comicsgate have no clue what redlining is, which goes to show none of them really know anything about comics. But, if you just do a basic redlining, you can see Ethan's art is just constantly wonky, fucked up, incorrectly done in many, many ways. And he covers that up with a lot of cross-hatching and adding elaborate, pointless detail to stuff, too. Really, he should just be a cover artist or something, or do pinups, because his comic work, the actual sequential art and of his art is just bad. It's not good. He knows tricks to cover it up, how it's bad, but people who think he's a good artist don't actually understand comic art. And again, that's not my opinion. That's not something I'm even saying. It's something that other artists, other better artists, look at who we're looking at. Interesting. I mean, Doug TenNapel has his own opinions about that anyways. You can ask him if you want. I have, though. We've been on with Doug TenNapel several times on streams with him. Delightful streams, which, again, those streams, though, were on the old channel, so most of them are gone. I was able to keep some of them. Some of them ended up on BitChute, that kind of thing. But this goes to show, like this Nurkish stuff. War campaign prolongs and escalates another stupid internal CG war. Are you sick of this? I am. Notice this is the real principle, as opposed to, remember what Ethan said, is like, is Earthworm Jim anti-gay? Comicsgate isn't. Is that really your principle? That's your principle, Comicsgate? Is complaining about anti-gay comics? That's what the SJWs do. So Comicsgate, that's what you are. You were the SJWs all along, and there was already the proof of it. Go ahead, prove me wrong. Tell Ethan Van Sciver he was wrong in 2019. You could do it now, too, but you've had all these years to do it and you said nothing. Your principles are clearly fake. And everyone in Comicsgate had an opportunity to prove me wrong. Their only response was to block me and not respond, proving me right. So, once again, Comicsgate has lost every single argument against shitty webcomics, and will continue to for all of history. But here, Doug says, I can't have my comics business associated with groups who attack backers and creators, which it wasn't just War Campaign who was doing that. Ethan Van Sciver personally had done that on his own, even before a lot of the War Campaign involvement, but also before, during, and after, I mean. But so also after, and also during. But here's Doug saying, I'm out of CG and moving on to focus on what my backers are about. Great comics and no drama, which that really got, when fucking people in Comicsgate try to sarcastically say no drama, it shows that's really what gets under their skin, is when creators just create without the drama that people in Comicsgate have always been addicted to. Here, speaking of which, speaking of Bitchmade, here, yellowflash saying this was from, I think, May 13th. I think this was last year. But he said, I had to block the detractor Thomas Royloop. First of all, the detractor. But also, yellowflash had me blocked years before this. So he's pretending somehow to have had me blocked before then. What was happening at this time, May 13th of last year, was or it may have been 2022. Holy shit. That's like 2 years ago? Holy fuck. But we had started doing videos, just a few more videos, like out of nowhere, about how I keep saying that umbrella yellow flash guy. I'm like, which one? Just yellow umbrella. That umbrella guy. It does have to be specific in this case, because it was that umbrella guy who had already been caught being a cuckold, and him and his wife had catfished a guy out and left him stranded, to where Doug TenNapel and Doug Ernst had to pay out of pocket to get the guy back home, after Tug and his wife had just straight up scammed this guy. And it was a guy who was in Comicsgate. I don't even remember the guy's name, but he posted on Kiwi Farms. He posted the whole story, all the stuff on Kiwi Farms, not only verified, but, the Doug and Doug, both of them basically verified that. So we started doing videos about it, and this was yellowflash's response, was saying, I had to block the detractor Thomas Royloop. Again, he had me blocked already. I can't take him seriously because him and his brother have incest sex. They're the gay versions of the Lannisters, except they're not rich. This goes to show, again, notice that this is directly in response to the Tug stuff where point to this where he is directly addressing what we brought up. Of course, it's not, because this is Yellow Umbrella's way of admitting that we're right. Specifically, not only that we're right, but that the evidence had already proven we were right. I had DM'd Ricada earlier, I think a day or two before this. I had DM'd him once saying, did you hear about the stuff about that Umbrella guy and his wife catfishing people? Now, of course, as we know now more than ever, Ricada's no stranger to catfishing. But also notice the other tell, Weirdo. Detractor and Weirdo are tells for psyops, people who are fake and everything they believe is fake. Again, that's not my speculation. It's provably true. But Ricada, also just out of nowhere, also having a meltdown, saying, this weirdo Thomas Roloop has been asking me about... Notice he tagged me. This is their way of trying to damage control how they got caught supporting Yellow Umbrella Tug Flash. Tug, specifically. The other thing is, I didn't even bring up the Slick Jimmy stuff, where Slick Jimmy was a convicted pedophile that that Umbrella guy was friends with, and we did videos about that already. If you want to see that, go check out our videos about that. You may have to go onto the Subscribe Star. In fact, there's a couple videos coming up. I did a video, a sort of refresher video about Tug, that's going to go up in the next month or so. So that'll be good. But he says, asking me about weird shit all day. I DM'd him twice in the day about Tug being caught and the evidence that proved it. And notice how Ricada hid behind his audience. Notice also, this was before the Mandy stuff. This was before the alcoholism stuff. Ricada had done this many times in the previous years, too. And all of the people are like, oh, Ricada's dishonest. And it's like, yeah, he always has been. We have the evidence. Here's the evidence. And where are the people to admit that was there? But yeah, this the funniest part, though, is, of course, one of Ricada's Wine Aunt fans, who also blocked me after this. This is fucking bizarre. But I was able to archive this because this is something that we've been, the people on our Discord have been laughing at for a long time, is they're weirdos. Again, weird. Guys, it's weird. They have an abundance of salacious manga images of women. So it sounds like they don't like Princess Highground or Laylee. How old are these guys anyway? At least 60 years young. Oh yeah, this says May 13th, 2022. So holy shit, it wasn't even last year. This is how long this was before even the Hedonism 2 stuff. Again, this was the clue, though. This is the giveaway. How did you not see the Hedonism 2 stuff coming when there's this? So, again, that's another example of the actual person. Were you subscribed to yellowflash while he was like this? You were supporting him while he was like this? You know, what does that say about you? I don't know. I just don't know. Here, returning to Le Current Year, here's yellowflash just going on about war campaign. Again, yellowflash supported war campaign the entire time until it became a fucking PR disaster. But he had no problem with war campaign doing all the stuff that they had always done until it became, basically until they did it to one specific girl on the internet who was popular, who had a lot of simps, who could defend her honor. And basically when that happened, all of a sudden war campaign's behavior that they supported was something that they had to be against while pretending that they were somehow never against it. Here's the Queens likely refers to me and Tug. Again, for some reason, yellowflash sticking up for Tug, a guy who made up fake death threats against his children, and him and his wife catfishing people in comicsgate to scam them. On top of Tug and his wife were also catfishing a lot of other guys in comicsgate just for pictures of their dicks. That was a old story. Ricada admitted he knew. That was the thing. That's what I DM'd Ricada about that he was referring to in that last pic. I was like, hey, do you know about this, Tug catfishing dudes and all that stuff? And Rekida's response was that he had heard about it. And it's like, that's funny because your friends, I didn't even say this because I didn't need to. Basically, I had already won by that point. But that I thought it was funny because Rekida is supposed to be friends with Doug TenNapel. And Doug TenNapel was one of the guys who had to pay out of pocket to help out the dude that Tug and his wife had catfished. And just straight, like, not just catfished, but scammed. They invited him out to Tennessee with promises of a lucrative job. Like, hey, we're going to help you out. We're going to help you get a lot of money. He goes out there, on his own dime, goes to where they say to go, and then they just completely ditch him. Like, they just never show up. They ghost him entirely. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like an entire time zone away just about. That was, Rekida knew about that. Rekida admitted he knew about it and didn't have a problem with it. In fact, he supported the Umbrella guy doing it. And if you want proof, just you can prove me wrong by pointing to where Rekida actually called out Tug and criticized him for doing that. It never happened. And in fact, people who are friends with Rekida or think they're friends, like Doug TenNapel thinks he's friends with Rekida. He's not actually. It's kind of it's a lot of the YouTube show is for show. It's about portraying what you want people to see, not what's actually happening. So Rekida pretends, the way Rekida pretends to be a Christian. Doug TenNapel, basically, if you just tell Doug TenNapel you're a Christian, he'll be friends with you. Something benefit. That's just Doug. And I don't have a problem with Doug being like that, but it's a little sad, but it's okay for him. But the fact is I think Doug thinks that they're friends and they're really not. Here also, somebody replying, Lamafau at the Crown's crying about this. It became Japanese for a second. EVS does this literally all the time. EVS made multiple live streams bitching about Eric Yellowflash. Gee, that's another funny thing is that you think this is recent. No. EVS attacks first nearly every single time this happens. Again, there's plenty of evidence you can go into, deep evidence you can go into that's way more, that shows that it's been happening for many, many years. And where is everyone showing that? The thing is, they don't do that because for all those years, they didn't want to even admit it was happening. For them, it was never happening. It just wasn't real. They were sweeping. All these people were sweeping up for it. Yellowflash was sweeping up for it until now, where the real cause of it's basically Yellowflash and other people picking sides. And the side they want to pick is Eric July because it looks like he's making more money than comicsgate now. Because comicsgate had his chance. They had their chance of, they had their day where they were posting record profits, which is suspicious on its own because it's Indiegogo. For anyone who doesn't know, you can very easily fabricate numbers on Indiegogo. It takes some work, but for instance, the example we like to use that is easily provable is if you donate $100, $1 at a time, it shows up as 100 customers on Indiegogo. It's very easy to just pad out your numbers. Ethan Van Sciver also had been caught, friends of his admitting that he had donated to his own campaigns multiple times to pad out the numbers. You can theoretically, and most likely people in Comicsgate did this, you can pad out the numbers, and if a couple people in Comicsgate did do this, where they padded out their numbers by just donating thousands of dollars to themselves, and then refunded them, and it still shows up on the total. So you can just donate fake money, just completely, a phantom tax, if you will, I guess. Is that what's it called? Something like that. But again, there's a lot of sketchy stuff that's been known for many years. about comicsgate, and all of them collectively agreed to sweep up for it. Even the people who are now acting like they're against it, they were all in on it. Every single one of them was in on it. Here is yellowflash. I don't give a fuck about Ukraine, and then several videos nonstop about Ukraine. Again, it's just the classic leech tuber stuff. People are now posting, probably people in Comicsgate, because again, we never paid that much attention to them. But there's also the stuff about like Tug saying that Amber Heard is obsessed with me, and then screenshot of his account that's literally hundreds and hundreds of videos about from him making videos about Amber Heard, that kind of shit. Here's I've spoken to Gaming Philosophia and have apologized for how I came off in my last video. I should have checked out his stuff, but yeah, again, this is yellowflash is constantly doing that, where he'll just lie about someone and then have to back down from it later. I mean, look, he just did that with us. Well, not just, it was a couple of years ago, but it's something that they consistently keep doing. I read the Isom comic. It's too similar to Phoenix Jones, and that sucks bad. Holy shit. Huge slam on Phoenix Jones. Again, if you want to see a really bad comic, here's the most positive thing I can say about Eric July is that if you want to see a really bad comic, just read Richard C. Meyer's comics. But Richard C. Meyer, then again, does really love Isom also. So that's, hey, I don't know. That's up to them. Whatever. And by the way, I don't consider Cyberfrog to be any better. You know, if I say anything negative about Isom, I don't consider Cyberfrog to be the good comic. Cyberfrog just simply has more visually elaborate art. I don't even consider it better art. Even the stuff about Eric July, his artist, just putting in like 3D models and stuff. There are a lot of artists who do that. You know, it was lazier in Isom, that kind of stuff, but there's a long history. Manga does that pretty regularly too. What they do, though, usually is actually draw. Either they trace it and draw it to make it look more drawn, or they'll draw it from reference, which is a lot harder. I have done both. You know, there's a while where I was like, I wonder what drawing's like. I was able to get I think it was a Wacom Fun. That was like $50. This was like 10 years ago. I was like, I can draw a drawing. The one thing that was holding me back from drawing is like, I knew that all the stuff I would try to draw would be so fucked up. Like it would be erasing it, ripping it, just wasting paper. And it's like, I knew I was going to have to redraw, erase. And so I got that. When I got that tablet, I got to really kind of experience it. And I learned a lot about drawing. And my standards actually improved. I'm still not good at drawing, but I have a better understanding of what it really takes. I like this comment underneath that says, you really should be careful when making an entire video about someone where you make assumptions about them. That is all that these people do. That's why they're called leech tubers, because they just, they pick a topic, they just say something, they don't know anything about it. They never will. There's not going to be a version of yellowflash in the future where he's smarter or more honest, by the way. But there never was a version of yellowflash where he was smarter or more honest. I know people that stumbled upon Arcada streams during the depth versus hard. Yeah, that was the thing. Again, leech tubing. It's a classic. It works. It certainly works. But yeah, that was Arcada basically not having any insight, and the people just being obsessed with celebrity, being like, "Oh, Arcada is so based. He took the popular actor's side," and that's it. When notice what Arcada really thinks when it comes to lying about men. Is that if it's a popular actor like Johnny Depp, it's a bad thing. But when it comes to us, suddenly Arcada has no problem with it. So it goes to show that if you really fell for Arcada supporting Johnny Depp, you are a fucking moron. You might be one of the dumbest people in the history of the entire human race. Folks, hurts me to say it. but it is quantifiable, which is for sure bad. I know people stumbled upon the Ricada streams during Herd versus Dev. Tug was on. Tub Girl, that's what you really should call him, was on, and they thought he seemed full of himself and Ricada wasn't funny. Why is he trying to be funny? Yeah, that's the funny thing, is that the worst thing Ricada can do, and he did this very regularly, is that when Tug was basically caught being a child abuser and faking death threats, Ricada's response to this years ago, 2019, Ricada's direct response to that was to bring Tug on and to promote him and his channel and to take his side. But also be evasive about the evidence. Ricada is constantly, for years and years. So again, if you were a fan of Ricada at any point, you were intentionally choosing to be a fan of a disingenuous person. And again, I know it's not polite to just completely call that out and say it, but it is quantifiable, objectively true. From the person who invented the meme, objectively true. The first person to ever start saying that in the history of the internet. And that was me. You're welcome. I know people really appreciate that. That goes back like 15 years too, by the way. So I'm not going to say, yeah, that was it didn't start on YouTube. It started way further back. Anyways, here's Tug saying, this is again from like 2019. Here's Tug being like, every once in a while around 2019, Tug would manufacture a crisis where he's like, nobody appreciates me. He'd start whining like a bitch so that he could get again, if you've been watching the recent videos, the recent streams that I've been doing, it's called pity fishing, and it's a classic tactic from mentally ill people who constantly want people to be, back patting and hugging them. It's a hug box behavior. It's where it comes from. But yeah, here's Tug being like, I'm burned on it. If people want to break shit, let them. I'm tired of cleanups on aisle 3. Wow, what a cool term that is. Did you come up with that yourself? I've noticed my frustrations with CG. Instead, again, he's acting like, basically he's whining about comicsgate not supporting him enough. So he gets fucking, people to suck his dick. Hang in there, Tug. And here's Gat Hanzo, one of the War Campaign guys, which that Umbrella guy was friends with. So was yellowflash. Yellowflash and the Umbrella guy, Yellow Umbrella, were constantly supporting, promoting, sending aid and succor and super chats, actually sending money. Money was constantly flowing between all of these guys in War Campaign. So when you see them try to talk about how they're against War Campaign, they're selling you a lie. And if you're choosing to buy it, then it's not even their fault anymore. It's your fault. And you should take the blame and feel bad as a person. Kiwi Farms post from 2020, again, just random stuff. I think my brother was just posting a bunch of stuff on our Discord. It's like, well, here's things. Somebody saying, Tug asshole. I like that. I like the way you put that. I like how not only can he not draw right, but he steals all the original art for Lug, aka himself. Somebody else saying one of his fans bought an auction and sent it to Lug as a gift. What they're referring to here is Slick Jimmy, the convicted pedophile, who in exchange for buying the auction and sending it to Lug as a gift, got private telephone time with her. And this was before the arrest and stuff, but this guy's pointing out analog devolved here, saying, here's a man, sarcasm quotes there. Oh, wait, I said that sarcastically. What I meant was nice sarcasm quotes there. A man that cries about child exploitation but pimps out his own daughter to internet strangers for gifts featuring his OC. This, again, that right there basically is the tell for child abuse. If you think that, Tug is in any way a good person after that, you are so gullible that I don't think you can even be qualified as a human being. An underman, at best, is what you would qualify as. But this guy says, I don't know how much this piece of shit, the drawing. Sold at auction, but who the fuck bids on a Tug OC artwork other than Tug? Then gifts it to his daughter, like what the actual fuck? Yeah, again, that was Slick Jimmy. Here is the Laughing Man saying, I guess Tug hasn't gotten the memo yet about him not being comicsgate, but here he is claiming he is. I'm pretty sure, since he uses backer info and doxes people, that he wouldn't be part of the Pocket Jacks comicsgate. This is around the time of the trademark, which again, as we told Pocket Jacks, Preston Poulter was a good troll, but aside from that, it's like I would never, even if you got the trademark, I wouldn't even want to use I wouldn't want to use the comicsgate trademark that you took, which he took, by the way, because or he tried to, Preston did, because mainly it wasn't being used. Some side guy, yet another talentless person who had never made a comic before, registered the comicsgate trademark, and it lapsed after a couple of years. So Preston tried to snatch it up, but he made it a big public thing, so that gave comicsgate a lot of opportunity to try and fight to get it back. But here's a link to a tweet that is most likely deleted now, but he did archive it here, it looks like. But this is a screenshot, so I can't click on that. Here's a edit. Okay, I should say he's thinking comicsgate, but we know has at times when he said it. Of course, other times he's acted like he was pissed with them and back and forth. Yeah, we just showed the screenshot of him. There are a couple others that we have that, again, we never took any screenshots. People have come to, over the many, many years, because we were the only people to be honest about comicsgate. Many people came to our Discord and to our channel and so on to share screenshot. People from Kiwi Farms and that kind of stuff too. But just people in general, other creators have come to us because we were the only people who would even talk about any of this. Edit to wrong, Matt. People wanted you to grow the fuck up, not lie, not spin, not use your child as a human shield, which is something he had Tug constantly did that throughout 2019. He would make dozens of videos like holding up his baby and shaking it on the screen and being like, they want to kill this baby, just screaming at the back of her head. Not literally, but figured. He was just constantly using his child, acting like they wanted to kill. They were sending threats to his kid. Nobody had sent a single threat. In fact, the guy who called CPS was a friend of Tug's and Ricada's, and came out and admitted it. And there's even a screenshot of him saying he was going to call fake calling CPS on Tug to create sympathy for Tug. And Ricada responded with, go for it. So again, it's, and that's old too. That's just fucking old news. So, that is what is classically referred to as a gay op. And it really puts the gay in gay op when, Tug and his friends are faking attacks and death threats against themselves, their children, just for sympathy. And Tug constantly does that and still does that. And all of them are going to keep doing that because it's the mindset that they originally came from. Again, comicsgate was always a psyop. They sell you them being threatened, even when it's fake, which it pretty much was entirely fake all the time. And then the product is you, essentially. You pay for the idea that you are protecting these people, from these fake death threats and fake threats and fake deplatforming, such as Ethan Van Sciver lying and pretending that he got fired from DC. People still believe that, even though Ethan Van Sciver himself had said willingly that he quit DC years ago. From the beginning, though, that's when you go back long enough through his streams, you'll see the whole narrative changes of Ethan telling people, it's like, oh, there's more money in going indie, so I walked away from DC. Then he started telling people that he was fired from DC. Then he started telling people that he was fired from DC for voting for Trump. And people believe it, even though the evidence, his own words, but also the words of his friends and other people at DC were like, yeah, that never happened. He wasn't fired from DC. He quit. He told us he was quitting. In fact, a few of his personal friends at DC specifically came out and said, Ethan, you were anti-Trump. You weren't fired for voting for Trump. You were against Trump. He was a never-Trumper. People were like, you had tweets all over on your account saying Trump is a dangerous idiot and bad for the country, and all of those tweets disappeared as soon as he was elected. Anyone in Comicsgate want to try to refute that? You can't. Do you have any of his tweets from before then? Go ahead and show them. But they're going to end up just proving Comicsgate wrong again, as the evidence always does. Anyways, here this guy says, using your child as a human shield, not user, as a means to get more money out of your customers, not to be the very thing you claim DC and Marvel are, but you are beyond worse than them. You are nothing but scum. That's what people wanted for you to stop doing, you fucking moron. Which is very true, objectively true. That's not that's not even this guy's opinion about Tug being nothing but scum and worse than Marvel and DC. I personally have been false flagged by people at Marvel and DC many years ago. The original blog got shut down by a Marvel employee, somebody who worked at Marvel at the time, called in a personal favor to have me banned and have the original Shitty Webcomics blog shut down entirely. And Comicsgate also has done that, where they false flagged our accounts until we got banned from YouTube. And do you want to know what the difference is between the SJWs who false flagged us and Comicsgate who false flagged us? Nothing. It's like a little joke. What's the difference between Comicsgate and the SJWs? Nothing. Both of them proved to be the cancel pigs. Not my opinion. Here is, again, every time this happens, like 2019, 2020, whenever there's infighting, somebody will post this. This is from yesterday, though. It says, Comicsgate, just stop. Please stop. Enough with the fucking bickering. Sell your books and shut the fuck up. Again, it's like, there's been, it's many years too late to start telling them to do something that is against their nature. It's just in their nature. The two scorpions stinging each other over the stream. They can't help it. It's just in their nature. Mainstream creators chase their customers away. Well, who were you supporting in Comicsgate? Who are those people in Comicsgate that you were supporting the entire time? That's right. Mainstream creators who simply pretend that they're not anymore. They brought their mainstream attitudes, like, John Malin and Ethan and so on. They came directly from the mainstream. Even Mike S. Miller came directly from the mainstream and brought those exact same practices, behaviors, and personalities to pretend that they're indies, the fake indies, essentially. Again, proving objectively, irrefutably, that it's all a big psyop. Well, look, somebody else says their leader made his bones working for Marvel and DC. Of course he taught them how to behave like scum. Wow, that's a really good point. I'll like and retweet that. Oh, I already have. That's cool. Dude, it's so cool. Here also, this is funny because this is, again, from around 2019, I think more 2020. The Comicsgate, and specifically War Campaign, Comicsgate is for everyone. There's only one Comicsgate. It's for people who want to make and or collect unpropagandized books and respect their fan base, be respected by creators. Doug, Mike, Edwin, Ben, just a giant list of all the people who already had been doing that for the most part, except for JDA, but still, basically, Comicsgate's for everyone. We're kicking out everyone. It's just one of the many, many delusional things about War Campaign from back in the day that was worth saving just because it was funny. Here's some of the DMs that leaked from 2018 of Ethan and friends attacking Nurkish. Here's Nurkish is Ethan saying Nurkish is the most conflicted of Comicsgate. And Nurkish saying, I'm not really Comicsgate. I just like ripping on SJWs. And here's Ethan telling Nurkish, no, don't say you're not Comicsgate. He says, yeah, you are Comicsgate. So Nurkish didn't have a choice. Here also. But here's another guy. I think this was the guy. Critias was the guy who owned the trademark. And again, he fucking was going to make one comic, and years later, when it was late, he had the trademark on comicsgate. The book he was going to put that trademark on never came out. But he says, guy can drop out of your Discord, and Nurka says, go for it. I only go there once a month. And Ethan's response is, good luck explaining that to all your doxers. In other words, you're going to get doxed if you don't bend the knee. That was just, again, if you ever thought the night letter from Ethan to Eric July was supposed to be something, this clearly... And this is a threat, by the way, but it's that mafia kind of threat. Like, well, it sure would be a shame if you got doxxed. And again, there's a lot more about this. We go into a lot more detail about this in other videos. Go ahead and it's up to you to actually look at the evidence. Here again was that Facebook group somebody screen capped for us a long time ago. Around 2019, where it's just a bunch of people pointing out that war campaign. See, there's a lot of people in comicsgate who just straight up didn't like War Campaign from the start, or at least after a while. This guy saying, War Campaign, group of fake impotent comic book fans, betas masquerading as alphas. That pretty much describes all of comicsgate, though, and pretty much all of the other nerd culture YouTubers in any way. Replace Mark Waid with EVS. He helped them raise $40K for their Indiegogo campaign. Yeah, that was another thing, is that Ethan personally was constantly promoting war campaigns, Indiegogo campaigns, and so on. He was making money for them. So, just another example. Here is again, from yesterday, Doug Tnaple saying, I don't entirely blame EVFs for telling the lie. Lots of hardened, soy-laden SJWs have made a lot of money telling lies about me. Most of them in Comicsgate, as we've talked about with Doug Tnaple. We've done streams going into detail about this as well. We've just done hangout streams with him in general, too, though. So, and again, a lot of them got lost when Comicsgate got our previous channel banned for telling the truth. There's no way around it. They got us. They false flagged us because we were telling the truth. But one of the things we were able to keep was that Tails Gets Trolled review that we did with Doug Tnaple and He Silly and Tim Lim. I almost said Tim and Mark, but I think it was just Tim and me and my brother. Delightful. Comicsgate was always so morally confused. Of course, they'd end up carrying Disney's gay water against conservative. I like the way Doug puts that. Against conservative Christians, funded by Christian morons, of course. And anyone in the right-wing influencer market knows there is a high percent of fake activism. See, this is what I've been talking about, too. It's what basically all of us have been talking about and aware of, is that, there's the vast majority of the whole thing, the whole YouTube nerd culture war sphere is, as he calls it, fake activism. Comicsgate from the beginning, pretty much fake activism. And it got some of the people who were real. And notice how they never were able to stay. But he says, Doug says, simply because it's more profitable than doing real activism. The bottom line is still about the work. I care more that people do the work and have less care what side you're on in this week's gay fandom war, which, again, a very accurate way to put it. He's quote tweeting Mike S. Miller, who mentions the Dirtworm Doug narrative is the dumbest lie Ethan Van Sciver ever conceived to believe. Now, there's a lot of very embarrassing quotes of Mike S. Miller just completely licking Ethan Van Sciver's gunt crease, saying that God gave him and Ethan a prophecy to save comics or some retarded gay shit like that. And then it all backfired on Mike S. Miller. So that's the only reason Miller is actually against Ethan and the whole thing. But he's, still essentially the same flavor. Here also, oh, look, someone else, SE Mod. EVS as a SJW cloaks himself as being conservative. Hope conservatives don't fall for his blatant fraud. That would make them as dumb as the left. Well, gee. I mean, not to say that most of those people aren't leftists. Is Ethan Van Sciver really a conservative, or is he just a leftist? Not even in disguise, is he just a leftist? I mean, who has Ethan Van Sciver actually gone after? Other conservatives. Supposedly other. Not even other conservatives. He's gone after conservatives because he isn't one. He's, I mean, again, a never-Trumper who started pretending that he was fired for voting Trump when he said he was a never-Trumper. A perfect example of what's been going on. There are many videos on our Subscribestar covering, for the past couple of years, covering the Indiegogo comment sections for Ethan's campaigns. Just a casual perusal, I like that word, of his comment section is just full of this. Just constantly nonstop this. Where's my executive briefcase? How are you still allowed on this platform? Notice how many up-duderinos this gets. His own customers are voting this up. By the way, it's worth pointing out every single time, you have to back his campaigns to leave a comment. You can't just I can't just go and leave a comment. I would have to back his campaign to leave a comment. And you could say, well, maybe some people are donating, but a lot of these people are people who have been donating for a long time. There are names who had been showing up being like, I can't wait for this comic. And then many years later, after the comic, not just being late, but after Ethan being a very blatant closeted homosexual and pathological liar, as he allowed himself to get caught being, are just tired of him as a person. Here's another, again, just the next comment there. EVS kept saying how this would be a quick turnaround due to the drawing style. 3 years have passed. Seems like he's even stopped addressing comments about this book on his live feed. This book could have been great. No. But the joke itself is starting to get at us. We want refunds. So again, even the people who are trying to cope, still trying to cope, are also just saying, we want refunds. These are the average Ethan customer. This is actually 90% of the comments on all of his campaigns, even going back to the first one. I mentioned this. I forgot to go through this even because there's so much to mention. It's another reason why I didn't even want to do the stream, but the Cyberfrog 2 has spent the entire past year failing to fully deliver. It's trickled out to mostly YouTubers. The people who've gotten their copies first were YouTubers with an audience who would, of course, praise the comic, even though the story is like everything they said about Isom, the exact same applied to Cyberfrog 1 and 2. The thing is that a lot of the customers, thousands of customers for Cyberfrog 2 still have, over the entire, it's been 12 months, and thousands of customers for Cyberfrog 2. Well, assumed thousands of customers. Some people say, like, can you refund number 382 and number 1000? It goes to show that, again, the customers themselves are, when you see it has 10,000 backers, at least half of those are people who donated twice. So cut that number right in half. You also got to cut the actual backing number in half. When he says it made over $1 million, you got to cut that right in half for printing and fulfillment, which he has spent the money, so he doesn't have the money to continue printing and fulfillment. That's why the deep dark secret of Comicsgate is that is why the book still hasn't finished fulfillment, is because Ethan spent the money, and then he'll just run another campaign. He's done this many times. He's done this dozens of times already. If you can look at his account, for Cyberfrog 1, he did that, where he would do another campaign for a variant cover, then another variant cover campaign, and another. And that is after the book was already over a year late. It was clear he still wasn't working on it. He was streaming every single day, not working on the book. manufacturing drama, making up fake drama, making up fake attacks against himself, making up fake, fake backstabbing, as he called it. He was constantly whining about backstabbing that was never happening. And all the people in comicsgate were covering up for it, sweeping up, supporting it, false flagging people who pointed out that it was fake. And again, that's yellowflash in a nutshell. He was completely, utterly complicit in every single step of the way. And only now. EVS hasn't delivered a book for 3 years. There's 2 books that he's multiple years on. And technically, Cyberfrog 2. There are a lot of customers. At least hundreds. It could be thousands. Most likely, it's just hundreds who have donated, 5, 6, 7 times. But there are hundreds of people who still haven't gotten their copies. And it's pretty obviously because Ethan doesn't have the money anymore to print or ship. Because again, Dynamite Comics was doing the printing and shipping for Cyberfrog 1. And that comic was late, but ultimately when it came out, it got shipped. Cyberfrog 2, Ethan doesn't have anyone helping him anymore. So the fulfillment has been a nonstop, unequivocal disaster, as Mel Gibson, one of my predecessors, one of my peers, Mel Gibson, would say, unequivocally. Now I'm blaming you. You went to sleep without blowing me? Why did she do that? Why did she go to sleep without blowing him? Before the fucking jacuzzi? What's wrong with her? It's clearly her fault. Anyways, see you later. All right. Doug, you will pay for your crimes, especially abortion. That's true. Arcade is so nice. He hopes you will make $1 million. He has not hoped I will make $1 million. I think I'm one of the only people that he would hope. Me and Tim Lim. And you know what? Interestingly enough, Doug TeNapel doesn't seem to have hoped for $1 million for him. $1 million is kind of the tell that it's a disingenuous person who he is stuck between wanting to suck the dick of and wanting to act like he's too cool to be on the side of. It's if he wished I had made $1 million, I would take that as a bad sign. But also, an empty gesture, of course. I mean, fucking everyone knows that now. Tug jumps on bandwagons. Yeah, well, I mean, Tug jumps on bandwagons for the clicks. I caught him being a snake. That is the thing, is that is the nature of the YouTuber. Is you find one of those websites that says, here are the top YouTube searches, and you just pick one of those topics and make a video about it, and instantly you're popular on YouTube. That's it. You don't even have to know what you're talking about. You don't have to be honest. You can be completely wrong. People will take your side no matter how many times. You can just straight up start lying about stuff. And you will become popular on YouTube, and you will have people covering up for your lies and saying that you weren't lying. It doesn't matter. That is 99% of every fan of every YouTuber. Especially the culture wars, especially the fakest people, the most disingenuous people. And again, that's not my opinion. It's been proven. SJW's put their shitty comics out at a better pace than comics. Yeah, here's the thing is that their comics are shitty too. Their comics are no better. Their behavior's the same. Their comics are the same. The SJWs, the Cancel Pigs, Comicsgate, which is all the same thing. Most of the people in Comicsgate were like fucking Obama voters, Hillary voters, who just go around telling people that they're, that they are against that now, or they find some way to rationalize that. They'll say like, I was a Democrat, but I went off the plantation or something like that. If you ever see people who do that or say that, do not ever trust them. Again, it's a YouTube. You know what the real criteria is? If they're a YouTuber and they're, covering culture war shit, don't trust them. Just straight up. Don't trust a single. Don't support them. Don't subscribe to them. Don't click on their videos. Don't send them super chats, because after all, every super chat you have sent any one of these YouTubers, YouTube gets a cut of that. Isn't that the woke mob, that the censoring cancel pigs? You're making money for them, and you're gloating about it. That was something that Yellow Umbrella and Ricada would, and I mean, Ethan and comicsgate would constantly gloat about how much money they were making on YouTube. When they gloat about how much money they make on YouTube, they're gloating about how much money they're making for YouTube. You need to remember that if you're a real person. If you're not a real person, you didn't know that. Every actual human being already knew that. But nobody in comicsgate knew that, which proves, ipso facto, QED, nobody in comicsgate's a real person. I'm sorry to present the evidence like that, but it's irrefutable. As always. Mel Gibson hyperventilating. God, I want to listen to that. I want to listen to that and not these gay YouTubers. Anyways, here, okay. I caught up with chat. Here, let's see, what is next? I'm getting through this. We're almost done. Here's, Narwhal, who is an artist, very messy artist. For that's kind of a whole other topic, but he's done art for some of ya boy Zach's comics. A lot of people will tell you Narwhal's art is just complete dog shit. I think it would be good if the books he did were free or something like that. But it's not really, and like a lot of bizarre coloring and so on. But that's a whole other topic. And just leave that to other people to discuss. But Narwhal's an artist for some of ya boy Zach's comics. And he says, Vaughn is, so here's something is that he said something, then deleted it, and then somebody called him out for deleting it. In fact, I think this is a quote. Yeah, here's another guy in comicsgate, Shane Cat Pappy, saying a lot of people are making tweets today and then deleting them, specifically referencing Narwhal. Narwhal says, Vaughn asked me to delete, so I did. Here it is, though. Saggy-faced Shane Davis is an expert at Darvo gaslighting victimhood, and he has a fetish for knives in his back, so he can be like his daddy Ethan. Again, the joke that all of us, the first people to make fun of it, was us, and also there was even a joke making fun of Ethan whining about constantly being backstabbed. In I forget if it was Common America 6 or something, maybe 5. Maybe 4. I forget which one specifically, but yeah, there's a joke about that in Common America. Backstabbing. I tried to make some losers rich, and all I get is stabbed in the back. He also loves blind items for some reason, also known as vague posting. But then here's the screenshot, I guess, of what he deleted, saying a very promising young creator, Shane and Malin, have been bullying him and threatening his career with running damage control by trying to reframe it as a PTP thing. And then here's Vaughn Coleman, I don't know who that is, saying, discover a brand new world of adventure, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, again, there's a lot of backstabbing, if you will. And here's another one. Here, I can click on there. Oh, it zoomed in a little bit. With an archive link. Funny enough, other people had archived this, so other people clearly in comicsgate are catching on to what we taught them. There are a lot of people, hundreds of people in comicsgate, including Ethan Van Sciver, are on our Discord and have constantly made references to stuff we had only posted on our Discord. The Yellow Umbrella thing is actually a perfect example of that, because other people in comicsgate got pissed off at Ethan, quoting that and admitting that he got that from us. So yeah, a lot of people in comicsgate are utterly obsessed with us. Again, that's not a joke. That's not speculation. There's tons of evidence that had been proving that over the past several years. But here is this. Here you go. More advice for Vaughn, which amounts to warnings about his current associations. People will say it's just jokes, but does anyone find this incredibly creepy? This is the important thing. You're policing Vaughn's associations, yes, but whether or not that's bullying. If Vaughn says anything, he says, was with these people's psychotic obsession. He even says it in private. The DM is then leaked to use against him in the other clip, and further advice is offered. The archive doesn't save videos, unfortunately, but this tweet isn't deleted, so I was able to bring up the video. had it downloaded, and here I can play this. It's 3 minutes and 18 seconds. I don't want to listen to 3 minutes and 18 seconds of old queers, including a guy who stole money from one of his own customers. Got caught doing that just a couple months ago. But whole other topic. That's another video. That's actually a stream on my channel. So if you want to see more about that, go ahead. I'll just play this anyway.
This fucking gaggle of degenerates.
Oh, here's Vaughn Coleman.
Again, this is what comicsgate does all the time, where they're just constantly pointing to people who are in their movement or related somehow, following them one way or another, and constantly creating drama. That's all these people do. They just sit around on streams all day, not working on comics, and just complaining about people on Twitter.
And he said, what an insane year 2023 has been for meetups.
And I mean every single day. All of these people stream every single day, not working on their comics. John Malin basically stopped drawing entirely. He doesn't draw comics anymore. Matt Barr has a comic that is, I think, 3 or 4 years late now, and he has gotten caught stealing money from customers. That's the guy in particular. And then nobody has any idea who these other people are. Just other hanger-ons who have no talent.
Chargers were officially born. To Tampa, to Friendsgiving, Heroes Con, and more. Too many to include here. This year was one for the books. 2024 is going to be even better. I hate the optimism of youth. Yeah,
it's almost like they don't understand. Like, Vaughn doesn't realize he's driving in the wrong lane of traffic. Like, he's on the wrong side of the interstate right now. He has no fucking clue.
Oh, sweet metaphor. That really fucking packs it all up.
And he thinks everything's really golden in front of him.
I hear that, right?
But it's all oncoming traffic going. You don't understand.
Yeah, and then he's got
again, as previously mentioned, based on what, how, and prove it. Every Comicsgate, everything anyone in Comicsgate says can be disproven just by asking how and prove it.
Succubus. Yeah, he doesn't realize.
This is really just clearly like some kind of weird element of bitterness. I don't even know. Is that Ethan there, or is that just yet another old bald guy? It's impossible to tell anymore because every one of these people in comics say, here's another bald old guy, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one.
He has a succubus among them.
It's old bald guys watching old bald guys on stream of old bald guys.
The entire time. Like, he's a real
like talentless, again, just utterly talentless boomers, one after the other. The books that John Malin put out were embarrassingly bad to the point where his own audience had just been walking away from him, been like, you're supposed to be saving comics and your comics just suck. You were supposed to save comics, not to be the SJW you pretended to be against. That's what his fans are. I don't think that. His fans, his own former supporters, his own former customers have been saying about that for years and years now.
He's got this big giant weight on his ankles.
See, again, notice it's just this petty gutter sniping and constantly complaining about just throw on a picture of somebody and then complain about. This is what they have been doing since 2018 also.
Be well aware.
They don't do, this is what they do instead of working on their comics. They should be working on their comics and they're not.
Why not just
I mean, they should be not stealing from their customers, but here they are. Here's John Malin having a guy who stole from his customers and, not being like, hey, are you going to give the money back to your customers that you admitted and gloated about stealing? It was the same with Donald DeLay, stole money from the writer for his comic Nasser, and gloated about it constantly. And not a single person in Comicsgate ever was honest and admitted or called him out for that and said, you need to fix this. Instead, they made fun of Nasser for being stolen from, and then lied about Nasser, made up all sorts of hoaxes about Nasser. So that's the kind of people that these guys are, and so they want to point the finger at other people when there's no one more disingenuous. And again, it's to cover up the fact that none of them can ever make good comics. I've made better comics than John Malin, but that's a low bar. John Malin's comics suck. John Malin's is incredibly thin-skinned. In fact, he's one of the whiniest, most effeminate, thin-skinned faggots in all of Comicsgate. That's why fucking he had, that's why Ethan always had him around to lick his gun crease and, just be his personal pet faggot.
His balls? I don't know. Oh, look,
again,
again right next to him.
There's not much point in watching this because it's just old, talentless fags just complaining about some other people. Probably other people who are better at doing work. Like all these guys just sitting around and stream complaining about people who actually do the work. That's all they do. Fucking one of my favorite John Malin moments, though, was he had some guest on who brought up Iconic Comics, and all of a sudden John Malin had a panic attack. He's such a whiny faggot. He is there's no way around it. You can see the soy boy facial features in John Malin every time you look at him. Also, much like who's that other beanie fag? He basically he refuses to stream without wearing a beanie. It's an insecurity tell. It's one of those things where you can tell somebody's just you can look at them and see how thin-skinned they are without even having to hear them talk. Yeah, again, these people are just so boring. Here's just out of nowhere. This was just posted. Oh no, Ethan in a diaper. But speaking of which, look at the physiognomy. Not just that it's a Photoshop, but look at the physiognomy of Ethan's face there. It's like this is the gayest picture of a man in probably the last 30 years of the internet. Just look at the attempt. He's attempting to hit on whatever guy is taking this picture. The arched eyebrows, the subtle attempt at doing the duck lips. He's trying to look sexy for whatever guy is taking his picture there. Very blatantly homosexual. That's an open secret that people in Comicsgate have known about for a long time as well, though. That's a whole other thing. We've gone into that and proven that Ethan's gay. And also, Ethan has bipolar disorder, which means he's a bad person. If you have bipolar disorder, pretty much 99%. But there are a couple people, I think, who I've known who've had bipolar disorder who were okay. But most of them are just bad people. Here, going back again to they say like 7 hours ago and so on, but this is actually from a couple weeks ago, so this is older. But this is on another one of Ethan's, just to show this is what their customers are like. Ethan Van Sciver's customers think of him. Here's one saying, "At this point, I'm going to be moving on from Comicsgate entirely." This is the effect that Comicsgate has had on indie comics overall. Is many customers openly saying that they're quitting Comicsgate. New year, find something else. 5 months since the honeycomb boxes start shipping and no updates, no email responses. Starting a new year and the product I spent $300 hasn't arrived yet. I'm going to clear out some subs I have on YouTube and cancel some memberships. Just time to move on. Here's another saying contribution ID 4604. My item was shipped at the end of October. My November 3rd, it reached New Jersey and hasn't moved since. The shipping company said it was lost. I sent multiple emails to Ethan with no reply. If I'm not getting my order, I want my money back. And Ethan basically refuses refunds. In fact, he started refusing refunds after it became such a PR nightmare that he actually had to give a couple people refunds because it was destroying his reputation and his business. But again, we did a bunch of videos about that on our Subscribe Star. You will never see all those people sitting around all those people in Comicsgate sitting around on streams all day long. Never will do a video about that, admitting that, because they would rather just point at photos of some guy on Twitter and say, "Look at him over there." And it's like, yeah, what about it? Well, look at him. That's all they have to say. They're innately boring people. They have they have no insight about anything. They basically just all of those people in Comicsgate. In fact, all of the people in this video, they made their careers on YouTube just repeating what we told them. John Malin got all of his opinions about the SJWs from me personally. In fact, there are some specific exact quotes that he used from me. The same way that Ethan Van Sciver used to quote us all the time and use a bunch of our specific talking about. But I mean, if you followed us on the original blog and so on, you've heard all of the stuff that we said back then, like 10 years ago, is the stuff Comicsgate started to say. The thing is that we actually hold to it. That's why we work with other comic creators who get the work done and are honest. Whereas all of these people are just stuck with actual thieves and scam artists. Right here, everyone here is agreeing to go on with a scam artist and does not have the balls. Will never have even one ball to point it out. They're the weakest, most thin-skinned people in the history of the internet. The biggest lol cows. Every person, pretty much every creator in Comicsgate is the biggest lol cow in the history of the internet. And the same way people didn't know that Rekieta was, we knew all along, and we were, of course, as you always, proven right. And that's how, essentially, that's how it happened with Rekieta, is that we had known it, and Rekieta ultimately couldn't handle it being noticed, and just gradually began to crumble, and now we have where Rekieta is now. Ethan refusing people. There's going way back. Ethan would refuse refunds, then give refunds, then refuse, then reply to people, then stop replying to people about refunds. And this is last year, the year before. It happened with the first Cyber Frog. It's happening with the new one. It's happening with the other books, the Rainbow Brute one that he's years late on as well. Here's another, just the next comment saying, where the fuck is my honeycomb box? Here's another comment saying, I guess my honeycomb box got lost or never shipped, rip. So it's just his own customers. These are the Comicsgate customers just giving up on Ethan's incompetence. Here, again, is another clip. This is the one, this is kind of the first one. So I clipped this.
By the way, yellowflash has me blocked.
What?
I just saw that shit.
On what?
Notice the pushed voice kind of drops for a few seconds when Ethan says that after a while.
On Twitter. He's got me blocked on Twitter. I haven't said word one to Yellow.
Here comes the gay theater kid that Ethan is, by the way. And also notice here again is Matt Barr, the guy who stole money from customers, got caught. And basically his response to that was to completely misdirect and not address. He was completely incapable of refuting all of the evidence because he knew he couldn't. So basically what he did was he admitted that, yes, he stole money from a customer. That is Comicsgate in a nutshell, always has for years. And all of these people are complicit in it. They support stealing money from customers. They've also doxed customers, though, but I mean, that's already been proven years ago and so on.
Flash,
I wonder if I'm
you guys... You want to talk about an Omega storm? Get ready. There's a whole...
Well, I gotta...
That's a lot of people who saw this clip were like, why is Ethan so gay? That's like one of the gayest things they ever saw Ethan doing is the theater kid in him really coming out. The gay theater kid that even the other theater kids would pick on. That's Ethan here. But of course, he surrounded himself with bootlicks and just utter thin-skinned faggots. So when you're a faggot and you surround yourself with other faggots, it just kind of evens out for him. All of these people here would definitely know about that because they are terrified of going on with anyone who would ever confront them about their behavior and about the history of Comicsgate. Not a single one of these people has even a half a ball to share between them.
I got a yellowflash tweet bookmark that I was going to bring up in Unzipped because I figure, it's that level of gossip. But I'll bring it up here.
No, I'm not blocked.
You're going to do it after this? It'll be up to like 6 a.m.
This is what he says. How
Tim
dare
Pool.
Eric
It's a
July
beanie
make
guy.
comics that come out consistently and on time.
Oh no.
Hooray.
Notice right off the bat, Ethan's response is to act like he got punched in the face. Ethan knows he can barely even respond to that. Because it is true. Eric July actually made the comics that come out. But these are the same comments that had been mentioned about Doug TenNapel and Iconic Comics. Doug TenNapel was getting comics out while Ethan's was still late. And so this was so Ethan has had years to come up to with something to respond with this. And none of them can. All of them are just like, he's completely caught in headlights here. So
he threw me and
he's scared
out of the or wait, no, we weren't thrown out, but he abandoned the previous Flash green room. He
By
made
the way,
a new one.
here's
Did
the
he
thing
ever
that's-
invite you in?
It's another funny thing, by the way, is that behind the scenes, notice they all have these DM groups where they're all colluding and talking about shit, figuring out which hoaxes to make up, which fake attacks to make up against themselves for sympathy and that kind of stuff. That's been going for years and years now. With DMs occasionally leaking, and if DMs would leak, you had to constantly show loyalty. You had to take pictures of your dick, send it to Ethan. That's been something that's been proven years ago. Malin most likely got a lot of those dick pics too, because of course they want They want proof of loyalty. That's what it's about. It's about proving your loyalty. And if you don't prove your loyalty, you're out. And so that's what they would constantly do. But Flash went DFE mode basically, and kicking people out of his DM group, and he shut down the comicsgate Twitter community entirely. Just not just everyone got kicked out of that, but it was just deleted. Somebody else had to make a new one. I think Ethan made a new one. So of course now Ethan gets to control who is allowed to post there, which I was already banned from it, or blocked from it, like day one, just to go to show how afraid, how panties piss terrified all of these thin-skinned faggots are when it comes to the possibility that I could even say something to make fun of them on their own Twitter community group.
No, I was in it, and I was on his show a lot, and he was just like, hey, man, cool. And I said, listen, every time I'm on
his gay fake voice got a little faker and gayer there.
Your show, I'm going to try to be funny. I'm going to try to make your show better. I can't guarantee you I'll be there every Saturday. But when I'm on your show, there's so many dead, long, empty silences on his show, and it's exhausting. I said, if I...
It's just a perfect example of pot calling the kettle black, also known as throwing stones in a glass house. Also, the Chuyat mentioning, is Doug TenNapel working on Alpha Court? No. I mean, he could. That's possible, but I think it would have to be worth more to him than his YouTube channel, which apparently is making him really decent money for very minimal work. It's something Doug TenNapel has just straight up admitted. It's like it's more lucrative to just make a YouTube channel. But the thing is, at least Doug is not pretending that he's working on a comic or promising or overdue on a comic. He's just like, here's the comics I did make, and he's not running a campaign for comics that he's not going to work on. Comicsgate only loves the money, just like EBS loves taking people's money, yeah. And flushing it down the toilet, of course. A lot of that money is just in the garbage now. Tim Pool, yeah, I'm ashamed that I like Ricada. Well, you certainly should be. But you know what? If you're here, good job. Pat yourself on the back. Yeah, I don't want to soften it. Like if you were supporting Ricada, you were just straight up supporting a liar because you wanted to be. I understand a lot of people want to be lied to ultimately. I understand being told what you want to hear. That was really why I subscribed to Richard C. Meyer in the first place. Back when he was just Diversity in Comics. I liked having somebody else finally talk about the stuff that only us was talking about way back in the day on the old blog. To the point where it was like verbatim. The stuff we had posted about on the Shitty Webcomics blog was stuff that Richard started doing videos about and so on. The current conflict has reached new levels of idiocy. Well, in a way, it's the same level of idiocy, just more visible. But to that extent, yes. EVS making fun of Eric for hiring a lot of warehouse staff to ship his product on time. Yeah, that's the thing, is that whatever about Eric July, he may be dumping all of his money into the warehouse and the staff, and he'll go bankrupt from it or whatever the fuck. The comics are still coming out. They're not good comics, but they are at least still coming out. I mean, there's other people in comicsgate who could have been doing that. Other people in comicsgate did get their books out. The thing is that a lot of them just focused on the books. So they didn't have big YouTube channels, so they didn't get as much support. And the people in comicsgate, it's funny that that whole thing about Eric, I think that was a month ago. I don't even fucking remember, but it was a couple weeks ago at least, where Eric, somebody was trying to call out Eric for not supporting enough indie creators or this or that people. So Eric gave the guy a bunch of money to get his book funded, and the guy refunded it and was like, I don't need your help, whatever. It's funny though that Eric rose to the bait of being told that he doesn't support enough people. The exact same thing happened in comicsgate in 2018, 2019, 2020, where people were like, Ethan, you don't support enough. And then all of a sudden Ethan would do the charm offensive, the PR damage control, where he would have people on to promote them for maybe a couple weeks, and then he would just stop doing that again, and he would only bring on like the most gunt crease lickingest gunt crease lickers of all. And the smaller creators who could use some more support just stopped showing up all of a sudden. Whoa, weird coincidence. So again, it's always for it's always the immediate attempts to damage control, just like the same way with, we did a deep dive about this a couple of years ago, back in 2019. We did a video going into a very long history of Ethan Van Sciver stealing money from commissioners at conventions. One of the many reasons that Ethan Van Sciver does not go to conventions anymore, except for very few select ones, is because he kept just straight up stealing money from commissioners who basically wanted him to draw stuff. He'd take the money, never draw it, ghost them, stop responding to their emails and so on. And then they would be like, hey, Ethan, are you going to reply to this? And so all of them went to a forum where someone was like, somebody mentioned it. It was like, hey, I commissioned Ethan a bunch of years ago. I paid him a few $100s to do this, and he never finished it. In fact, it's a little telling because it sort of ties in with the modern stuff of yellowflash leaking, like it was some kind of horrible secret for yellowflash to say how much Ethan was going to charge him for a cover for his comic or some shit like that. Which again goes to show it's all the behavior that he never had a problem with before, but all of a sudden has a problem with. Never ever trust these people who only suddenly have a problem with this behavior that's been publicly verifiable and proven for years and years before this. But here, yeah,
come in there. I know you got a big audience. I will work hard on your show. A lot of people show up on a show and just sit there like pieces of shit. You know what I mean? And
you were on
again pot calling the PKB is what people used to call it.
There pretty recently with the Black Riding Hood book.
Probably. Oh yeah. I showed up and I made
lit that whole show up.
All the clips.
Yeah, this is also about. Here's the thing: is that this is pretty pointless to play because it's all about self-aggrandizing. To be like, we're so entertaining. All of these people are incredibly boring and constantly trying to convince you how entertaining they always are when they aren't. The only people who think they're entertaining are the people who are desperate. They want some kind of bump from Comicsgate or something like that, or they just wanted to they want to belong to the cult. They want because it is a cult ultimately. I mean, when you will be excised for disagreeing from the leaders, which, you know, that's happened hundreds of times in Comicsgate. If you even question, Ethan would ban people just for disagreeing in the chat. He's blocked thousands of people who were in Comicsgate just for innocently pointing out that he had said the opposite of something that he had said before or after, and so on.
All the YouTube clips were me talking to Director X about Black Riding Hood, and you know, I feel like I made that show special.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything to Yellow Flash, nothing at all.
All of
It's just,
these,
I think
all
all
these
of a sudden what
comics
happened
sound so.
were some YouTubers.
All of their comics are like the sci-fi movie equivalent of comic books. It's just the dumbest shit by people who have no talent to make anything good. And of course, nobody can say that better than I can, because not a single person, Ethan Van Sciver, has never been paid by an artist to write a comic, and he never will be. Unless he does it fakely, you know, for a performance, but which has happened before when people are like, hey, Ethan, you know, how come you are not capable of doing this? And then all of a sudden, Ethan, you know, spends a week trying to do it performatively and so on. But yeah, none of these people are, you know, ever going to be paid by an artist to write a comic for them. Even Nasser got to do that. And, you know, these people don't even have that level of integrity or talent. But then again, I mean, it is true that you don't have to be good at writing in any way to make a comic, but you will certainly never make a good comic. And once again, nobody's really a better judge of that than us, because all of these people got their opinions from us, and we can prove that. In fact, we have proven that many times over the past several years, over the past decade, you could even say, because we've been putting our money where our mouth is, but also showing everything that came from Comicsgate originally came from us, and we've also shown that too.
Said, listen, we understand you've got a comic coming out. You want to
Here, again, the gay voice. Notice the gay voice.
side with us, or you want to side with him? And
This is also very telling. Is basically he's accusing people of making an ultimatum to Yellow Flash, the exact same ones. Go back and look at the dox threads. It's like, do you want to be Comicsgate, or are you going to get doxxed? That's what Ethan Van Sciver said to Nurkish. That is what happened. And by the way, Mike S. Miller lied about that after it happened, only for Comicsgate. He was like, that never happened. Ethan would never do that. And then Ethan turned against him too. And all of a sudden, Mike S. Miller is like throwing himself on the ground and crying about it. It just goes to show he's just as much of a disingenuous person, of course.
got a comic coming out. You want to side with us, or you want to side with him? And Yellow Flash seems to think that means blocking me. You don't have to block me, dude. You can, you know.
Notice how offended Ethan is by that. He's very hurt. His sensitive little feelings being
Sort of
hurt
be
by
like,
that.
well, you know, play both sides. Why wouldn't you want my audience too?
Yeah, if you block somebody, you want them to know they're being blocked.
You're sending a message there. Not
Do you? What was that? I don't think. I think that was Malin who said that. I don't think Malin even knows what he meant by that. He's an incredibly stupid person. Though.
Eric July doesn't have me blocked.
As
Neurotic.
even other people like fucking, other people in Comicsgate, like, yeah, Malin's a complete moron. The only hierarchy is YouTube popularity. That's all they go by. So, in fact, usually the more dishonest you are in Comicsgate, the bigger the audience you. That's how you get a big audience on YouTube, though, is that you create the hoax and tell people the lies they want to hear. That's something that's been old news, though. Even people in Comicsgate have said that. Usually, though, when complaining about other people they wish they had that popularity of, though. It's funny because it's that weird irony where they want a big audience. So they pull all the tricks and they buy subscribers and that kind of stuff. Whereas we are actively looking to chase off audience. We're like, go ahead and unsubscribe. We tell people to unsubscribe. That's something nobody in Comicsgate will ever do because they don't have the balls to, because it's all about their YouTube channels for them. They want desperately to be popular on YouTube more than they want to create comics. Whereas we have proven we're the exact opposite. We want to create comics more than we want to be popular on YouTube, which is why our comics are provably, measurably better than theirs. And And again, the people in Comicsgate are not smart enough to know how to quantify or to objectively measure the quality of a comic book. They just think, elaborate art means good comic. That's how low IQ they are. Malin's IQ is definitely around 90. Ethan's is around 100, which is, that's, kind of a typical bipolar, limited by his mental illness and that kind of stuff.
Doesn't have me blocked. None of these guys have me blocked. Heel versus Babyface doesn't have me blocked. 0 of the zeros have me blocked. You're the first one, dude. And
again, this is Ethan, who has hundreds of people blocked, including other people from Comicsgate, trying to be like, well, I can't believe you have me blocked. The thin-skinned versus the thin-skinned is this. That's the truth about the whole yellowflash versus Comicsgate thing, is that all of them belong together. All of them we called this years ago, that all of them were going to fracture and keep fracturing and keep fracturing. And this is, in a way, the final stages of that. There's nothing any of these people in Comicsgate, former Comicsgate, whatever, can ever say to disprove that. We've been proven right once again. Shitty webcomics, always right. Ethan Van Sciver lost every single argument against me and always will, because deep down inside, he knows we're right. That's why he constantly watches our videos and is obsessed with us as well.
Incredible.
I'm going to point out Eric July.
It's also why they have been provably afraid to even stream snipe us or clip us. Every time that they did, it's been a catastrophic disaster. Cecil tried it a few years ago and was sent running and screaming. He was fucking just running off in terror, shutting down the stream after just a couple of minutes. Because we started just talking about stuff he doesn't want anyone to know about. Once again, it happens every time. Matt Barr tried it, and all he did was expose his audience to me being correct about him and presenting the evidence that he had no response to. And we ended up getting a bunch of new subscribers from his audience who realized that they don't like him anymore and that they actually prefer us telling the truth to him, catching himself lying and displaying himself lying. Again, it's the dumbest, like most sub-normie, sub-midwit takes is to show the evidence of you stealing money from customers and just go, oh, fuck you. I hate you. Or, pushing the whole, like, you fuck your brother or something. That hoax, which, again, Tug pushed because he got caught catfishing dudes for dick pics. And also, that was Tug's wife cuckolding him. He got so mad about that he started telling everyone that, me and my brother have twincest, something like that. Or not even that, not even the internet savvy terms, just fucking saying that we're incestuous or something. That he said that because he was so mad about being caught a cuckold. Every other person who says that on, in the circles on YouTube or whatever, also it's the secret sign that they have had some other guy fuck their wife or their girlfriend. Matt Barr has had other guys fuck his wife and probably had other guys fuck his mom in front of him. There's only a 99% chance of that though. Again, that's not speculation. The last person I speculated about with that was Ricada. Guess what happened with that? That got proven true as usual. So every single one of them, 100%, no fail. All of them are cuckolds. But also, thin-skinned, effeminate, the soy boy. The stereotype of the soy boy is every one of these people in Comicsgate. On this stream, other people's streams in Comicsgate, that kind of thing. That's why, we would never hack it in Comicsgate, because we were unironically too honest, too masculine. I'm not some paragon of masculinity, but holy shit. I'm a fucking Zyber Giga Chad, biblically accurate angel Giga Chad in comparison to any of these people in Comicsgate.
Nice reply.
It's a low bar, though.
Yeah, Eric says, your mentions are now about to be raided by some angry individuals screaming about quality.
That's a terrible reply.
A terrible reply. Okay, how is it a terrible reply? Because that has been proven true. It's been proven true when we said it about comicsgate. It's been proven true when we said it about Eric July. Now Eric July is, again, there's something on 4chan noticed is that people will say stuff to Eric July and then he will take those exact, like moving the goalpost is something that somebody said to him about what he was doing, and he started using it to other people. Again, there are receipts if you want to see more proving that and going into the information. Our wonderful Subscribe Star, as usual. The only place to get the truth.
Guys, this is something.
Would you rather hear the truth or more coping? Chuyat, do you want to hear these people coping on this stream, or do you want to hear the truth? Because really, this clip is just wall-to-wall cope of really old guys who are not relevant or talented or even interesting or fun. It's people who surround themselves with people to tell them they're funny because they're not funny people in real life. It was the same thing with, that's why they had Cecil around, so that they could pretend to be funny. But if they were actually funny people, they would have had Nurkish around instead, because Nurkish is the actual funny person who is involved, and you see what happened to him. Eric July's presence to comicsgate is a threat to them. Yeah, that is very true. That's the thing is, that's why Ethan always hated Eric July from the very beginning, and he didn't want to admit it. So, he pulled that old tactic of pretending to make friends with somebody who you hate because they are more popular than you. And with Ethan, it would have been way more lucrative of him to just shut up and keep working it. But the thing is that, as previously seen and proven, he's not capable of that. He's not able to hold that together. First domino to fall happened in the Flashcast stream with the Eric and Dick debate. Yeah, the one where Flash said that Isom could fly. Again, just going to show all of these people are incredibly stupid. Been listening to this for the last 2 hours. 2 hours of delightful, happy fun. I don't understand why EBS can't focus on delivering his product. Well, here's the reason. The answer to that is that he makes more money on YouTube. And always worth remembering, every time you think about that, think about the fact that 35% of the money that Ethan makes through YouTube is going to YouTube. YouTube takes 35% of all super chats. That means Ethan is making money for the woke mob. He doesn't want you thinking about that. He will block you and ban you from the chat if you even bring that up. He's done that before many times. Again, these are the most thin-skinned people in the history of the entire internet. You think you know some lolcows. You don't know anything. Nobody knows more about it. Biggest threat to EVS is the pressure of having to deliver on his products on time. I mean, it's too late for that, though. Once you're years late, you know that the people who are still giving you money are just going to keep giving you money. They don't care if you're late. They don't care if you're incompetent. They don't care if your book sucks. All they care about is that you said something on YouTube that they agreed with. That's always what it's been about since day one. Where people now in each stream is asking EVS where their products are coming. I mean, again, that's not exactly new either. It's just that it's going to become a popular thing to troll, and you will see Ethan break eventually. If people keep pestering him about that, he will start shutting down chats or just mass banning people, mass blocking people. He'll start screaming again. He has had screaming fits in the past that he's covered up in public, of course. But there's also been a lot of people who know him personally who have said that Ethan has private screaming fits because, again, he's incredibly thin-skinned, whiny, just the biggest bitches in not even in comics, because I mean that's bad enough. That's the comics scene. Comic scene has always been full of just the whiniest faggots, but just eclipsing it. Good word. Is the people, throughout the entire history of the internet have just been, there have been so many lolcows, so many people having spurgy fits and fag outs and whatever you want to call it. So many things. Anyways, yeah, people should be asking him, though. Even if you haven't backed him, if you haven't donated to him, you should be constantly pressured. People should have been doing that since 2019, though. In fact, that's where some of the melting down came from. Doug TenNapel and guys like Tim Lim, Mark Pellegrini, and so on, and even us, were able to start campaigns after Ethan's and put out comics before Ethan was able to get one comic, one average, completely bland, lifeless, soulless comic out. So like after that happened, after Doug TenNapel made a hugely successful campaign, finished it, got it out, it got tons of praise from all sorts of people in comicsgate. It actually reached that thing that we pointed out. We've been pointing out for years. It actually hit escape velocity. It escaped from the gravity of comicsgate, where other people outside of the circles were talking about it. And then so Doug did another campaign to do another comic and then put out the other comic. All this time that this was happening, Ethan couldn't get one single book out. So all of a sudden, Doug was out of comicsgate. That is not a coincidence. If you think it's a coincidence, and how do you even go around thinking that's a coincidence? You'd have to really have something wrong. I know even a lot of people in comicsgate knew that wasn't a coincidence, but they would just play along. They'd be like, well, Doug TenNapel, Dirtworm Doug is a backstabber. He's disgusting. He fucking was stealing money from comicsgate. Again, where's the money? Prove it. Show us how and prove it. Everything comicsgate says can be debunked and defeated. Every attempt at an argument comicsgate has ever had has been defeated with just those two questions: how and prove it. It's how Ethan Van Sciver has lost every single argument against us, and always will. This
get ready.
clip,
I noticed something.
this whole clip is just cope. So again, I can post this clip in public if you really want to see it, I guess. It's not worth it though, because this is a 4-minute 23-second clip of cope in streams that are 5 hours of cope that people in comicsgate are always doing, where they're avoiding the truth, avoiding the topics, misdirecting, trying to shift the narrative, trying to move the goalposts, you could even say. So let's just get to the to people who know better. Oh, look, here's a tweet from me. And then there's one last one after this, so we'll be able to wrap up. How long has this been? 2.5 hours. Ugh. Ugh. Almost 3 hours. Ugh. Again, I didn't want to stream, but at least I'm getting this over with. That's good. So here's my wonderful tweet. Pointing out comicsgate is currently having a massive blizzard January 10th. Comicsgate currently having a massive implosion, all turning against each other, exactly as we said, which is true. We called this years in advance. If you've been following us, you saw us say this was going to happen, which is why they always lost every. I said almost, not almost, not even close. Why they always lost every argument against us. They should have listened to Shitty Webcomics, and this proves why. By the way, that should have listened to SWC. That's something that, for years, has very deeply gotten under Ethan's skin, which we have the receipts proving that. Again, if you've been watching our videos, you've been keeping up with us, you've already seen us prove that right. As always, proving it right. Here is, click, like the wonderful movie, click. yellowflash saying Ethan wanted 4,000 plus sales of the book for the cover. I later find out he charges his actual friends a lot less, drastically less. This isn't the main issue, but I saw where my value was then. This is nothing new. The funny thing is people are acting like this is crossing the line to admit this, which goes to show Comicsgate's priorities. Being honest or outing somebody for their practices. Posting a page rate is not a crime. If he's lying about it, certainly, which is possible, but the thing is, it's a liar accusing Ethan, another liar, of lying, essentially. Here's right on time posting a Ethan thing Notice Ethan calling him a cancel pig. Tons of drama. Yellow Flash reveals my page rate to Twitter. And it's Ethan, again, another Cope stream. Here's version history. So it looks like he edited it to cut out the part where he says, fuck this guy. Something that Ethan had regularly said. I didn't, there's so many more clips of comicsgate's disingenuous behavior that constantly just proves what I've been saying. This is a screenshot of something I already showed. Here was Tug made this tweet, which he deleted like a couple hours later, very typical of him, saying all this indie comics insanity is happening in front of the customers. Again, it always had been happening in front of the customers. You made up fake death threats against your children in front of the customers. But when you do it in front of the customers and you get money for it, no problem. Tug has no problem with that. Yellow Flash has no problem with that. Ricada, Ethan, they have no problem with that. They said they want, again, taking our talking points, something that Doug Knapple said, we had said to Comicsgate years previously. They want more than the mainstream that treated them like crap. They deserve a better pro. This is something exactly that we said about Ethan a few years ago. So here's Tug just essentially being a derivative of us, even though he's still going to have me blocked, of course. Just utterly nutless. Here's a quote tweeting myself saying, elderly homosexual and disgraced comic drawer Ethan Van Sciver has had a terrible falling out with fellow cuckolded leech tuber Yellow Flash. Oh yeah, that was another thing, is that Yellow Flash did also get cucked in some other story. There's a lot of deep lore that even I didn't keep up with. You can find more stuff about that on Vicky and DA or D&V Investigations or whatever. DA Talks, his channel. He's done videos. Ethan's new dentures don't sound like they're staying in. He's so old. Where's his wife? Go home to your family, dude. But that's another thing, is that yeah, you can kind of hear. I was planning to do another stream where I go over that, and then just everything escalated, and it's like, who cares? But yeah, that would have been a funny clip. I think this is just the shorter version of the thing I posted, but yeah, Ethan very much sounds like he has time. If you listen closely, which I didn't, I just played through it. Here's Rob Curro, and here actually the one thing is this Mike Waring saying, I was ambivalent to Comicsgate until I said something nice about iconic comics and got railroaded for it. This is something that's very regular in Comicsgate, as I've been talking about many times over just this stream, and we've been covering it, talking about it, doing the digging that nobody in Comicsgate will ever do. Nobody in Comicsgate is capable of doing. We've done many videos going over the many hundreds of examples of people in Comicsgate attacking each other, kicking each other out, just for saying something nice about somebody who was an adjacent, or like Doug Knapple, or if you stuck up for Nasser and were like, hey, Nasser didn't say this thing that you're accusing him of, all of a sudden you were kicked out of Comicsgate, that kind of thing. But he says, it just pushed me further into that fold, and the more attacks that came, the more it confirmed I made the right choice. I like some of the guys, just not the leadership. Here also, oh, look at this. My first interaction with Comicsgate was essentially that behavior, but before Iconic even existed. Yeah, that went back to like 2018. They demand I follow the rules set by Ethan Van Sciver. I refused because they were immoral rules. Therefore, enemy for life. They are SJWs at heart. Notice that us pointing out that Comicsgate are SJWs, the Comicsgate people are now trying to throw that around to other people. But we've been proving it, that Comicsgate always have been SJWs since the very beginning, going back to 2018. Irrefutable evidence, and it's why they just block us, because they know we're right, and they know they can't prove us wrong. Again, that's why we won every single argument. I mean, Comicsgate, they couldn't even argue in the first place, so it starts with that. It starts with one thing, if you will. I replied to someone else, saying, yeah, I remember Comicsgate was doing that all the way back into basically what I just said. I just said this. The only exceptions were people who got kicked out inevitably, although they also kicked out people who were doing it, but not because they were doing it. In fact, yellowflash is actually an example of that, basically. Any creator who really believed what comicsgate claimed to believe had left or been kicked out of the movement by 2019. A few people in particular, like this tweet. Interesting. Wait, hold on a second. Interesting. Anyways, that does wrap it up. Almost 3 hours. Okay. Should I hate that Star Wars? I don't know. I don't really know anything about her. All I know really about her is that apparently her sister was missing, and they found out she committed suicide or something, and the war campaign guys made fun of her. And the thing is that they made fun of her basically because she had been offered the same deal that they had, where they sort of got a crony hookup with Dynamite Comics, where she did a cover, and people were like, oh, her cover sucks, her art sucks, or whatever. She did some variant cover for Vampirella or whatever. And from what I remember, it didn't look very good anyways, but and it is true that basically she's just popular for being a girl. That's kind of all that matters. I think she was supposed to put out some calendar last year that was like 6 months late. So it's like, that Star Wars girl cosplay calendar. It was something like that. I was like, okay. And I mean, she was friends with all these people. She helped support all of these Comicsgate people and Ethan and so on while they were being every bit the SJW. So again, it's all a psyop. She's part of it. It's just that, it's not really a conscious choice. They're like, oh, I can get popular on YouTube by saying I don't like woke things. Wow. And that's it. That's all it takes. You're a girl who does it. Oh, holy shit. You're a black guy who does it. Whoa. All right. Here's tons of money. That's all that matters to, pretty much everyone. That's why the whole culture war is essentially a psyop. All of it is just Operation Mockingbird 2. 2.0, perhaps 2.5. I don't know, maybe something like that. But it's been subverted since the beginning, and every person involved is directly complicit, whether they know one of the things about controlled opposition is that you don't have to know you're controlled opposition to be controlled opposition. So this is all a whole other topic and something I shouldn't have to tell anyone. Do I really have to tell you like the nature of controlled opposition? How do you not know on your own? Very sad. I can't form my own opinions without your approval. Well, you know what? There we go. I should have read the rest of that comment. But you know what? I replied anyways. Had something to listen to while I worked out. Wow, what a great incentive. Many great things. I've gotten a few comments from people who are like, thanks for that last time I did like a 5-hour stream, somebody actually donated some money through PayPal. I was like, thanks for the big stream. I got a lot of stuff done while listening to it. And it's like, I guess that's good. It doesn't have to be live. That's the thing. I don't do these streams so that people can watch live. I do these streams because it's just easier than trying to organize a video and even think about editing it together. I can just sit here. Wow. In fact, I could do an entire hour of me just playing that pseudo regalia, the prequel to actual regalia. I don't know. But instead, I'm going to just stop streaming, and I'm going to just go play Imagine just playing a game. That's most of the other thing, is that when I do streams, it's like, I just want to play a game, but also I can listen to these clips there's a bunch of Ricada clips that have been piled up that instead of streaming those, I think I'm going to just record me playing a game while listening to them and doing the commentary, and then I'm going to put them behind the PayPig paywall. That way, if you really want to know, if you want to listen to me listen to clips of people while playing a game, now you got to pay for it. Become PayPig. Do PayPig. Be PayPig. I mean, we got plenty of other delightful videos. A lot of public, and again, every single time I feel like I need to point out. But all of these videos, I never wanted to put any videos behind the paywall. We were forced to by comicsgate constantly false flagging our videos. And again, the evidence of that proving that irrefutably, not a single person in comicsgate has ever addressed that. And because they can't, because they know it's true. And if they addressed it, they would be exposing their audience to the fact that they are false flaggers and the cancel pigs themselves. Why would comicsgate want to admit that they're the cancel pigs? So yeah, they don't. So they're never going to address that. But the all of the evidence proving it is actually not behind the paywall. It's on this channel. Go look up Liam Gray on this channel. In fact, that was such a disaster for Ethan Van Sciver getting caught bribing Liam Gray to false flag our channel that he had to go into this huge damage control spiral for like the past year. It's past couple years. Shit, almost past 3 years. Or 4? Oh, fuck, that's right. It was like 2020. Was it the end of 2020, though? I don't know. But, yeah, after that blew up in his face, because we got banned and we're like, go ahead and ban us. This is just going to go bad for you. And sure enough, it did. We warned Ethan. It was like, this is not going to go well for you. And sure enough, he had to spend the next several years trying to obsess about how he hated Liam Gray. And Liam Gray was just utterly baffled by why he was suddenly so hated. But now Liam Gray is back in. And again, it's important to point out, when Liam Gray was false flagging our channel, there are a lot of people out there, Raging Golden Eagle, Ethan Van Sciver, Nick Ricada, and so on, who were completely on board. Yellow Umbrella were friends with Liam Gray and supporting him and trying to help promote him. But Liam Gray had so fucking lost his mind over it that they had to cut him off. Once all of those people saw Ethan go after Liam, because Ethan knew that it was very possibly going to end up destroying him. All of them saw Ethan go after him, so all of them started going after Liam as well. So again, that whole story, though, you'll never hear anyone from Comicsgate talk about that. Certainly not honestly. They'll give you their false narratives about it. But if you want to know the truth about it, check out our channel. There's stuff about it on the channel. There's a bunch more stuff about it on our Subscribestar as well, where we're basically forced to put the truth, unfortunately, as much as I wish we didn't have to. It is a good way to support us, though. It's a good way to support the only people telling you the truth. Okay. 2 hours and 58 minutes. So, you know what? Is that actually how long it's been? I think so. So we'll wrap up before it's 3 full hours, I think. So, thanks for, oh, that's right. I don't have the soundboard, so I can't play the clips of, thanks for everyone coming in here and hanging out. Here's one last thing in the chat. Apparently, Liam threatened to fly to California and shoot JDA and a bunch of other insane stuff prior to that stream. Well, that was the thing. That's kind of where it started. Was JDA wanted to basically sort of leech off of what we did to Liam. And the thing is that, again, we were never interested in drama. So when the stuff with Liam happened, we were just like, hey, here's the stuff that happened. Instead of milking it for like daily streams, but JDA started milking it for daily streams. That shows that's what an actual drama merchant is. Somebody who doesn't actually make anything is somebody like JDA who, added to which we've seen his comics. They're objectively dog shit. He has no clue how to write anything. He's an and then writer. He's the kind of writer that would get hired. If he was a black lesbian, he would be hired by Netflix already. But he's not, so they won't hire him. And that's very unfortunate. He would absolutely take it up, though. But anyways, yeah, so thanks for coming in. You come in here with balls, and we're able to do these streams because of people like you. And support us on Subscribestar, become Pay Big to find out all the truth that everyone in Comicsgate wants to cover up. From yellowflash to Ethan Van Sciver and so on, if you want to really know the truth of what's going on. We've been getting more subscribers on Subscribestar. Big thanks to all of our backers. New and old. Wonderful. And for everyone else, though, as usual, and has been proven right thousands of times just in the past week alone, but millions of times in the past few years, Everyone else should have listened to shitty webcomics. Wow. Okay. Time for video games. I put my arms aside. Oh no.